Welcome back to the MCS Premier Matches. We do have someone to stream it. We have two casters this time. I'm Ari, and I am sitting here with JTV. JTV, how is your day going today?
I am doing pretty good. It looks like we're getting some name adjustments. Apparently, we're both Ari right now. So I think that, or you were JTV and I was Ari, apparently. So we were each other to start this up. But let's become ourselves real quick and zone in here on this matchup that we are about to see in front of us, which is the Bemidji Lumberjacks going up against the Bloomington Maulers. Now, this is my first time being up on Premier this year. I was up here last year. I generally hang out on Fridays and do my cast, but I do know that this is that top tier league that we are expecting some high level Rocket League. And I'll tell you this, just by seeing one of the names on the field, I guess I'm going to take a little bit of a bias here is what I'll call it, just because I've been watching this man play for a long time. And
it's Wesley, isn't it?
I expect good results. Of course, I expect some results from Wesley over there with the Bloomington Maulers. The man, the myth, the legend, going to be coming in and casting later on tonight, making his debut here on MCS. So got to give him a little bit of love, especially because he's coming onto the cast tonight, and he's going to be hollering and hooting along with us. So I'm looking for a good matchup between the Bloomington Maulers and Bemidji Lumberjacks, but I'm looking for it to go all the way in favor of the Maulers.
I want to go Lumberjacks here just because I sense Fusion Bleach as a player. I think he's an amazing player, and I understand what he's trying to accomplish this season. He's trying to go all the way to grand finals and win again. There's been there's a little talk, at least with me and a couple of other people, of talking like who's all time the best MCS player if you look at accolades and whatnot. And Fusion Bleach was tied for like top tier. If he wins 3 in a row, he'll be in his own separate bubble of player. And I feel like he's looking to try to accomplish that throughout the season. The season, though, for them has not been going well. They are bottom half, they're 7th, just below Bloomington, actually. This match has a lot of implications because if Bemidji beats Bloomington, they go up into the top half of the standings. And a lot of people had high hopes for Bemidji as they have college experience together as a team. They have chemistry, but something just hasn't been working out, and they decided not to go with a roster change. So it might just be performance in games. You never know. Sometimes teams do well in scrims and then just in games just don't get it together. So maybe all they have to do is just get it together, and that's just the X factor for him. But we'll see as the players head into the lobby here, and I will take you up on your offer. I think we're going 5 games, but I think Bemidji will pull it out in the end.
All right, well, as long as we go the distance, it looks like we're both going 5, but who will come out on top? That's the big one, as right now the Maulers are already coming out a little aggressive, as I expect them to. Wesley taking it to the corner. Fusion Bleach right there. We're already seeing that face-off early between Fusion Bleach and Wesley coming out the gate. 15 seconds off the clock, and they are going down the field with some aggression.
Fusion Bleach out to the corner. Wesley, big shot. Kato, top bin, saves it. Fusion Bleach stuck on the ground. Low boost. Comet tries to pass himself off the ceiling. Gets it past Fusion, but it's just a light shot on net. Kato easily clears that away. Gets it around 2. Goes the entire length of the field. Zodak, though, gets back in time. Gets it only as far as Sean. Fusion not really preparing for that 50 very well. Does control it. Gets it around 1 to the backboard, but Comet's there. Kato now. His touch goes middle, fakes it for his teammate. Sean up high, some pressure mounting now for Lumberjacks. Can they strike? Bump comes through, but the shot's not on target. Big whiff, but no one's rotated there. Sean just causing some havoc. Keeps the offense alive. Fusion another shot, and Lumberjacks building some pressure right now.
Absolutely. Maulers looking a little sloppy there on defense. Let's see if they can keep it together and hold that defensive line, because they're pretty lucky that the Lumberjacks did not score there. They had a few shots on goal, but just weren't able to capitalize on their attack. We'll see if they can get that same level of just forward motion going with their team. Right there's an opportunity, and Wesley puts it in the back of net. Maulers up 1-0, 3:37 left on the clock. And what would you like to see turn around here for the Lumberjacks here early in this first match?
I think on defense, they try to they put too much of their eggs in one basket on the transition. I see, especially second man heavily committing on some of these midfield 50s, where if they don't go the right proper way, first man's already looking for a bump before anything else really happens. So I think that you saw it there. That left third man in just such a bad spot in a 2v1, and especially in Premier, they're gonna know instantly that there's a numbers advantage. It's gonna be so hard for that player to try to defend. But I mean, they could have put one away earlier. It could be 1-0 in their favor. They had two pretty open opportunities, just not find the net, and this might be one here. Corner read, double tap doesn't find its way. Fusion though tries to make up for it. Comet cleanup doesn't come through either. Just what I was talking about. They just need to find the net on some of these opportunities because they are there. They're just not finishing them off.
Absolutely need to get something together. You can't just set it up and then not finish it off. If you're gonna put it together, string it together all the way and make it look nice. A good stop there by Zodak in front of goal. Katamak trying to put it back, but an awkward bounce. Fusion cannot get to it. Katamak in the back corner trying to get it back to his offensive strike. Fusion Bleed trying to give him a little bit of help there. Katamak still on that sidewall by the 50. It's a little bit of an under flick and up to Sean, but not enough to score.
Wesley.
There, missed by Wesley. My goodness.
The ghost in the stadium bumped him or something, absolutely flying past that ball, but nonetheless, nothing really happens from it. He recovers, and Lumberjacks showing most of the pressure this game, despite that being down 1 goal. I see so much. They're so tenacious on their rotation. Someone's always, they're just playing closer together. They're just playing on the ability to follow up each other quicker than Bloomington is, but it hasn't resulted in anything. They haven't gotten a goal off of it. Their shots have been wide. They haven't been on target. They've been blocked, and you know, you can huck as many shots to the net, but especially in Premier, they need to be good shots, and they need to find the back of the net. And especially when you have, like, there's been multiple opportunities where bumps like that come through where there's an open opportunity, but there just hasn't been. I just think they pass too much. So you see, I saw some times where someone could have, I guess, been a little bit more selfish and just shot it, but they elect to pass it. And instead, it has resulted in 0 goals for them, despite the amount of pressure and the amount of shots that they've had.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this. If I was the Lumberjacks, I mean, I would maybe be a little frustrated at this point because nothing's landed, but you've had a lot of opportunities. You've taken a lot of strikes so far, and it's not like you're out of the game. There's a minute left on the clock. There's still a lot of opportunity here for them to come back, tie it up, and potentially still win this one.
There's one.
There it is right there as we're talking about it. No cash occurs here. We're just going to speak it into existence.
Manifest it, Fusion. That pass was needed. Couldn't have the angle. Comet was covering all of it, but he wasn't covering the pass, and that's just a clean beat due to that. And now this is what I was talking about. Finally, what they fight. 8 shots, 1 for 8 for shooting, while Maulers are sitting 1 for 4. That's double the efficiency. You know, and then some of these shots from Lumberjacks, like I said, they've been opens. They've been open nets, or at least close to opens, and Maulers have had to fight a lot more for their chances, and I feel like if soon, it might just be game 1. Honestly, mostly probably what it is just game 1 jitters. That might find its way through 2 demos, or one demo comes through and a bump in a corner. Everyone bunched up. Game's still not over. 20 seconds left. Pops it over in the midfield. Sean trying to keep this one controlled over to Fusion. Beautiful control on the sidewall. Gets it past Zodak. Big beat out. Comet has to do something with this. That missed touch. That touch doesn't really go anywhere. It's not a pass or a shot. Fusion tries to play it out in the middle. Kato isn't ready for it. Does take a nice control touch to the corner. That one bounced dangerously out middle. Fusion there to cover for that. And now we head into OT here with the close game 1.
Yes, we do indeed. We'll see which team can come out on top. We're already seeing that back and forth that we expected in this series. Katamak with the miss. My goodness. An open opportunity again and could not seize it. Lumberjacks are going to be beating themselves up about that one after this if they do not capitalize and find a way to win game 1. The Maulers still having a lot in their tanks right now, and they're ready to give it all out there to win game 1 and set the tone. But the Lumberjacks are just kind of giving away opportunities right now and not really capitalize where they need to.
I think he might have been 0 boost. He maybe just misread the speed of the ball there. It's very hard to position your car properly for a shot like that when you have 0, to his credit. But I mean, he didn't have to rush it. There was no one getting back in time. There was no one there. Just like how there was no one there for that pass. Goes central, just not expecting the whiff. Comet, that touch a bit dangerous. That demo opening things up. Fusion has a net to shoot on. He doesn't have the angle on it, though. Does get a pass out to Sean. Cut off quickly by Zodak. on the respawn. A 50. 2 neutral 50s play out. Goes out in the favor of the Lumberjacks. Big beat in the midfield. Zodak, big turn on the ball, but 2 Lumberjacks players expecting that. Another pass out to Fusion. It's another huge beat in the midfield, very similar to what we saw in the end. Regulation passes out to each other, and I think that's what we like to see out of a college squad, the chemistry, trying to find its way. Zodak trying to find a goal of his own. He can't do it. Kato, big pre-jump. And he gets it past the defense. I thought that was saved, but no, just too much. And Lumberjacks fall in game 1 OT.
You know what's so tricky about a Comet is they're big enough to make an impact, but small enough to sneak past the radar, and that's exactly what Comet did on that one. Snuck it just past the radar of the Lumberjacks. Were able to bring home game 1. Right now, like I said, if you're the Lumberjacks, you got to be beating yourself up a little bit right now because you had a lot of chances to take home game 1. A lot of chances to set the tone early and really make it your own, and you allowed the Maulers to kind of sneak away with that victory. So look for them to reset the tone, come back with that same tenacity that they had in game 1, but hopefully they're going to come a little bit more precise with their attack and be able to capitalize on those big opportunities in front of the net.
Yeah, and especially early on in that game, I think it might just be the fact that it might just, I definitely think these teams do scrims or at least rank before they get their hands warm. But I think when you get into a game, especially on stream, some of the jitters might come out a little bit, especially in that game 1. Once you get warmed up, once you get a client acclimated into the series, I think it changes, and they're gonna have to win one here, because if they don't, they're looking at a reverse sweep. And I was talking about this yesterday. Game 2s in best of 5s have got to be the most important game in the entire series. It entirely determines the long-term outcome of it. If you have to reverse sweep or if it's a tied series, and now it gets even smaller margin for error. Both teams now only have to win 2, and I really think that Lumberjacks can't afford to go down here. Sean tries to get the lead right away, but it goes wide. Still central, though. Kato touched himself too hard, though, Zodak, and he's able to continue the air dribble. Fusion now pop out to the midfield. Sean's going to collect it, gets it past 1, keeps it going with 0 boost. Pop down middle, gets it past 2 defenders, but Zodak was right where the ball was. Kato's not able to shoot it, and Lumberjacks starting out again kind of where they left off in game 1, just putting up so much pressure.
Yes, they are. And I got a question for you, Ari. You talk about specifically teams coming out, getting a little jittery, being on the big screen. At what point at this top level, at what week do we finally say, enough is enough, and you got to just come out and play, let the nerves fall to the wayside, focus up, and just get the job done? At what point can you kind of just not let that really be an excuse anymore? As Comet sneaks one past once again. But as I was saying, at what point can you allow that to no longer be a reason for your excuse and just get out there, understand you got your chemistry in place, and play the role that you were set to play on that given day?
And Comet doing that by himself there, getting it past Fusion and flip reset pass to the last rotating back defender, but it was the same mistake that costed the first goal in game 1. It was an overcommit from the second man, leaving last man all by himself, and Comet, if you give him space in the air like that, he proved it in OT, he proved it right there that he will score it. Another double commit coming out, but the touch is good enough to where it won't matter. Wesley, he has a double tap opportunity, but Sean has the block. Kato Mac was downfield, putting pressure on Comet. Comet, he's been super solid as Mex. He gets in one there. Zaudo has an open. He can't find the back of the net. There's another open opportunity, this time on the side of Maulers. This is his way. Now the counterattack is dangerous, but the shot isn't hard enough, and Wesley will clear it away.
Luckily, Maulers are up right now, 1-0. Otherwise, they'd be in a similar position as the Lumberjacks, beating themselves up. I mean, you still got to be a little upset with not being able to capitalize on that opportunity. A little bit of an awkward angle, to be honest, but still was something that even if he got it, a little bit of a laid-up hit for his teammate was still there, ready. They had no defenders that could really stop them. And what a shot from up top. What a play in general from the Lumberjacks. Look at this clear up top. My goodness. Catamac. Woo!
Sent that guy off the screen. Get him out the stream. Sent him absolutely flying. I mean, that and the aerial bump so much harder to get than the ground when you have to basically, you think aerialing for the ball is hard. Try to find a spinning, rotating Rocket League player in the air. It's super hard. Just like that save, just not able to get back in time. And all of a sudden, honestly, out of thin air, it seems like they just got a ball to slip through in the midfield, and then an open net finds itself, and they find themselves up in the lead.
Uh-oh, looks like the Lumberjacks are starting to lock in. They have sharpened their blade, and they are coming swinging right now, so get out of their way because they are ready here in game 2. Can they continue to hold on, however, with 2:20 left on the clock? Cadillac trying to get a setup, gets picked away there by the defender, Sean, trying to get it right back in front of goal, but once again, Zodak says no. Wesley's now there trying to get it clear.
Oh, a bump.
Now it's left lazily in front. Wesley picks it up and shoves it in. It is now 2-2, 2:06 on the clock. It is a game. What a bump.
And Zodak responding, taking vengeance for his teammate who previously got sent off earlier, and now Fusion's time to get absolutely bullied. And that play he would have definitely had the save if he had not been bumped there, but I mean that's why you bump. That's why you run physical interference to get them off their game. That redirect just not on. Kato with a big demo, passes it middle. Fusion just not able to have the boost to be there. Comet shot goes high, but it puts pressure on Fusion now. Get this around. Comet still staying on that with 0 boost, but Fusion good 50 in the midfield to keep a controlled Zodak. Not really finding anything here. No one there in the midfield. 2 players go up. The shot not on target. Big counterattack opportunity right now for Lumberjacks, but they're starved in their low boost. They can't get it going. Kato trying to get something going himself. Gets it around Wesley. Go for Fusion. Goes over to Kato. Kato back to Sean. Sean back to Kato. Kato with the shot. Comet. Save isn't good enough. Kato goes missing on the goal line. I have no idea how that one isn't put away.
What a save there by the Maulers, by the hairs of their chinny and chin. Hopefully they didn't shave this morning because that was a close shave indeed. Wesley now taking it from up top. Comet double committing there, putting him in an awkward position down to Cadillac. Cadillac looking for an opportunity to pass it over to his teammate. Not able to get Sean set up there. Another bump. Comet now trying to take it away from the front of goal, but right now, Lumberjacks are hammering away. They are chopping away at that wood, and they are hoping to break through here at some point. But the Maulers able to clear it downfield, looking for an offensive strike of their own. However, Cadillac brings it right back, double tap, and wide of the goal.
That would have been an insane angle, and if it went a little bit wider, Fusion would have been ready for it. Another double tap attempt coming. The pass comes through. So does the bump, but it's off the post. That one doesn't find its way through, but they still have pressure. It's not shootable. They have to pass it. No one's there for the pass. All 3 Lumberjacks players scrambling back in the net. So much transition coming up from both teams. So many close calls. In the end, will it result in a regulation end, or will it just go to OT? Lumberjacks looking to try to just ground this one, get it out their half. They might actually look to steal this one. Kato to the backboard. Zodak's ready for it. Goes out to the middle. Fusion's there. Dangerous out in front of the box. Comet, that touch, bit awkward. Pop up, it's on target. The save is there. Fusion rebound. Comet rotating back in time, gets there. They're just looking to ground this one. Now Mauler's feeling the pressure. It still hasn't hit the ground. Sean, pass out to the side. Fusion still keeps it up. Pass, middle, Zodak blocks it. Sean's there. That's a bit of an interesting touch. Fusion touch. They're just going to let that one hit the ground. And finally, we got an OT. Lumberjacks almost pulling out some late game heroics there to end it in regulation.
My, oh my. You want to know how I know it's your birthday today, Ari? Because they are giving us all the Rocket League possible while you're on stream. Might as well tell everybody it is, in fact, Ari's 18th birthday. Give him that happy birthday shout out if you got it as we continue to watch overtime here play out. Mahler's knocking it downfield, pass down to Comet. Comet with the shot on goal with a double tap, not able to get there.
It is indeed my 18th birthday, but what we want to focus on right now is maybe this overtime match. So much pressure between both teams, and especially, I thought first game was pretty even. This one is even more intense. Both teams have felt each other out. They're feeling the pressure of this game, and the second OT now already. And it's down to the wire yet again. Sean, he's trying to put this one away. It just goes wide. That was another open net. No one back on defense, but just they're not in the right spot to shoot it. Comet is, but so is Fusion there on the defensive line. That's a pop around 1. Comet goes missing again on another shot. That's another opportunity that he's just not even hit the ball for. Fusion, pass goes to him, but he just can't get to it. Zodak cutting it off. Kato, now he has an opportunity. Flip reset. Around 1, doesn't get it around the second. The rotation back proving too much. Sean, pass, goes high. Fusion with 0, stays on it. And now Lumberjacks, they're looking scary on the offensive line. This might be it, but that's another amazing save on the side of Bloomington.
So much aggression coming out from the Lumberjacks right now, not able to pick it through that defensive line. Comet now trying to take an opportunity to set up his teammate, and a pass to Wesley, but it's stopped there by Katamak. Zodak tries to get downfield, but he cannot get up to slow down the defender. It is now lofting in front of goal. Comet misses, but Zodak still gets the clear. Sean with a double tap to attempt, and just wide of the goal. It is getting so close yet so far for both of these teams who have not been able to capitalize yet in 2 minutes of overtime.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Lumberjacks haven't scored yet. They've had so many opportunities and so much pressure for the entire game, but so whether it's their execution or a combination of the Maulers' defense, or honestly probably both, they just haven't been able to put one away. Maulers almost threw their Cato. Stays on his goal line, though, and he stays there in time for the save. Comet, we see what he can do with the ball. He gets blocked away by Fusion, though. He's not going to give him space on the ball, see what he could do with it. That pass, a bit dangerous, but Comet electing the fake challenge, it just doesn't really have the momentum to shoot it there. Fusion, he has the pass, though, but it's blocked away. Cato now all the way back in his corner. What can he do? Good control. Soft touch out to himself, forcing a 50 out from Zodak, buying his team time to regain after 2 demos coming through from the Maulers. The shot gets blocked away on a backward save from Sean. Now the pass out midfield to Cato gets blocked. Comet, that touch goes the wrong way. Zodak awkwardly playing this out. Sean, 50 there. Fusion follow-up. Beat to the ball by Wesley. Now Cato, he has to play this one very smartly. He's last man, loses the 50, but Sean rotates back in time. Now out to the midfield. Awkwardly played in the open space, and now finally Maulers getting some offensive pressure of their own.
My goodness, we are 3.5 minutes into overtime. And both of these teams, I mean, they're going to be exhausted by game 5 at this pace. They're playing so much extra Rocket League, bringing into overtime. Tick-tock, tick-tock, continues to go that clock as it continues to count upwards. Zodak with another save. My goodness. Can the Maulers get an opportunity here? Sean with the clear into the corner. And now they are looking for the offensive strike of their own. Wesley is in fact back. Zodak now there misses the opportunity. Passes over to Comet. Fusion Bleach gets it up and down awkwardly, and a save in front of goal. My goodness.
Another one comes through. Cato finally puts one away. I have never seen such a crazy overtime. There was so much pressure from both teams, so many opportunities that just barely didn't find their mark, and Cato finally slips one through off of a beautiful play from Fusion to be patient in front of the box and cut off the pass. And they find themselves tied in this series on a very crucial game. If they lost that one, it would be having to go for a reverse sweep, but they find themselves able to take it away in an overtime. And that's honestly, if you look at the stats too, Maulers, every single one of their players had a savior medal. They all had at least 3 saves. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, indeed it is. They had multitudes of saves. They had a total of 16 saves on the board into a comparison of 9. That is a lot of defensive pressure. This matchup has definitely been one that we have expected to be like a back and forth 1-2 punch, but not quite as much of a, haymakers they've been throwing at each other to start it out. We've had 2 overtimes already, and I know it's a best of 5, but it's almost like they've already, they're leaning towards maybe 6 games now.
We've already played about 3 games with a Rocket League, at least. That's just an OT, not to count like the minute the ball was up in regulation and went across the field 2 times.
Yeah, these teams know how to keep that ball up. They know how to keep that clock moving, and they are hoping to continue doing that same level of mentality pushing forward.
Had a bit of a Rocket League server moment, got kicked out from the private match. But everything looks good. As we wait for everyone else to join the lobby again.
All right, it looks like all of the cars are ready on the field, and so are we here in the booth. It is now a 1-1 series. Lumberjacks coming back in that overtime. 3.5, about 4 minutes of overtime already there in game 2, plus what we had there in game. Like you said, we pretty much played 3 games of Rocket League already, and we only have 2 match points on the board so far.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how long, although that was such a close game and so many saves coming up from Maulers, I don't know how sustainable that game plan is going to be in the stretch of a series like this. So much pressure all the time, you're going to start cracking. Something's going to start failing, and these players are super high level, they're super consistent, but you're only human. You can only sustain that level of focus for so long. You're dealing with so much pressure all the time. Eventually, like I said, something's going to slip, and it did right there in OT, and it will right here. Fusion seeking one through both defenders off a beautiful layup lob, honestly, pass out from the corner. Sean trying to get Comet off the ball and does, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful team play.
Sneaky indeed, and now they are taking that momentum and pushing it forward here in game 3. Roughly about a minute almost off the clock at this time, and they are trying to take hold early. They are putting on the pressure. You can see just the tenacious level of offense that they are putting out there when they get past that 50 mark. They're just attacking and not giving much breathing room here to the Maulers.
Yeah, and I especially see Fusion, or pretty much all Lumberjacks players, they're so quick on the balls when they come out in front of the net. They're up almost as soon as the touch comes through. Right there, I mean, it was a good example, but it wasn't really necessarily the most needed moment. It was very open off the good demo play on the rotation out. That's another thing they're doing. Not only are they quick on the balls, not only are they electing and comfortable passing the ball between each other, but every time they rotate out, they look for physicality, they look for boost steals, they look for bumps and demos, and it helps so much. That touch isn't going to help at all, though, or rather the lack of one, but he gets back in time and saves it. I have no idea how that done. Fusion Bleach kept that one out. That is absolutely ridiculous.
And Wesley trying to get it past the Comet high of the goal. That was a good attempt there, but a day late and a dollar short. You got to be able to hit the mark when it's presented to you, especially when you're starting to see the Lumberjacks really putting the pedal to the metal right now. And they are starting to take their team dynamic and really put it into form right now. If you're the Maulers, you got to find a way to really mix it up and start to slow down these defenders, because they are putting the pedal to the metal and they are just fully all in right now.
Yeah, like I said, that one almost finding its way to that angle would have been ridiculous. That shot goes through all three Mauler players go, and leaves so much open space for Bemidji. But like I'm saying, I said before the game even started, I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold this defense when Bemidji is just so. They look so dangerous on offense. They've got just their offensive loan. They've got to be one of the top teams just because of the chemistry, the passing, the demo, everything they have. Even if the other team's outskilled, maybe mech-wise with them, their trust between each other and their passes are always so on point. Their demo rotations, they trust each other to be back by themselves on defense, and so far it's worked out. It hasn't worked out there. Really hard to work that one out when Zodak puts that in the top left of the net.
Wesley kind of faked him with the double tap there. Looked like he was actually trying to hit it, but he left it perfect spot for Zodak to come up and hit the mark. We'll see. We'll see what'll happen here. Can the Maulers come back? Can they continue to fight? Or have the Lumberjacks start to figure them out? They were able to score there once, but are they going to continue to be able to find a way to sneak through those little cracks in the armor of the Lumberjacks? Because right now they are putting up quite a fierce wall.
Cato goes missing on that. Wesley plays it out to the corner. Tries to pass it middle. Low boost can't do much. Fusion easily reads that one. Comet electing to go up for that one. Cato goes missing on the touch, but Sean reads it. Fusion off the backboard pass. Wesley holds his line on the goal, and he saves it. Zodak now with the counterattack opportunity. Flicks it around one harmlessly into the corner. Comet, no one on Bloomington really able to get a good touch. Clears out harmlessly into the midfield. Lumberjacks going to scoop that one up. Another team passing play coming through, almost finding its mark again. Another opportunity presenting itself, leaving it for Cato. Wesley has the ball, feels pressured, tries to clear it out. Pinch, not going. Jalton much gives them relief of pressure, though. Time to get boost, maybe time to set something up here. The pass goes middle. Fusion's there on the goal line, though, and he hits it with just the very front of his guard, barely reaching that. Now a counterattack opportunity. Cato redirect, almost finds its way, doesn't quite get there. And Bloomington will scoop that one up, wiping the sweat off their brows from that open. They will do it yet again as Sean goes missing on that open opportunity. And I don't want Lumberjacks to fall into this slump where they kind of just keep hitting the ball wide after open nets.
And the ball is now still on the Maulers' defensive end. They need to find a way to just get it out of there because the Lumberjacks are continuing to chop away at their defense. Right now, it being 1-1 in this series, almost setting up for another overtime there. We were almost ready for a third consecutive overtime here in this series, but it looks like with 23 seconds remaining that it might just come to a hilt. The Lumberjacks are looking to push ahead, or Comet might say otherwise. My goodness, give it to us. That is what we want. Let's go, Comet. 15 seconds away from potential another overtime.
This unfortunate Kato, I think the person on the ball server is dying across the entire lobby. 3 players right now are dealing with ping issues. But we're just gonna have to play on. It only occurred in the last seconds of the game, and that's what's gonna matter. But you know, you can be lagging all you want, but I mean that double tap will persist through whatever server lag throws at you. Because I mean that was amazing. That was around 2 defenders, and he puts his team on his back, and he gets them into an OT. And we'll see what happens, and we'll see if that maybe just that one lag spikes threw Lumberjacks off enough, threw them off their game. Maybe they throw this game away. They looked so in control of it up until the last couple seconds of the game with a heroic play from Comet, who that's just what I can count almost on, like, I have to use my entire right hand to count the amount of times that guy's had a hero play this series. He's been absolutely nuts, but we'll see how Bloomington as a team are in this overtime.
I almost feel like fate made a decision for us and was like, you know what, we need another overtime because we haven't had enough. And of course, we are here again, and not our first, not our second, but our third consecutive overtime here in this series. Lumberjacks and Maulers are just going back and forth, back and forth. This is definitely one of the best series I have seen in MCS in some time, as both of these teams are just holding each other's numbers right now.
Yeah, and that being said, though, and like I said, in a close series like this, I don't know how long you're going to be able to sustain being on your defensive line for pretty much the entire game. You get a few breakout opportunities. Comet, he's been absolutely potent on offense for the few times he gets there, but that's the thing is they just haven't had a lot of time on the offensive ball. That one going all the way, almost going really unfortunately for Bloomington, but despite their very short stints on offense, they've been able to put them away when it matters the most, and they find themselves yet again another OT. But Lumberjacks, they've been so quick on the counterattacks. They've been so quick on the defensive saves as well. I think I think they might be frustrated with themselves, finding themselves in OT after OT, despite, like I said, being in control for a lot of the games. But like I said, in a long-term series, I think being in control, being on the gas pedal the most is going to end up being the deciding factor.
See, I want to agree with you, but there is the good old terminology of, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And sometimes just having that better defensive line, giving them a little bit of space, but understanding that you're still holding on to the field control. You might feel like you're a little under pressure, but some people thrive under that level of pressure. So maybe the Maulers might just be that type of team where they like their backs against the wall a little bit more. We don't know that. But I don't disagree at the same time of stating when your back's against the wall, that gives you no room to move around. And Comet, the striker, once again comes in and brings it home for the Maulers. And it is now Maulers up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. And we have seen so much Rocket League thus far.
I was about to say, they also say that a good defense is a better offense. Just putting it to the tee and not letting him even break out. But all Comet needs is just one look at the ball, and he puts it away. The double tap, the dunk. Game 1, he had the flip reset, and then the fake that almost led into another goal. He's been absolutely... he's been a monster this series. He's been absolutely insane. And Maulers are going to ride that. They're going to sail that ship as far as they can take it. And right now it's taking them pretty far. They find themselves on match point in the series, winning game 3 overtime.
I'll just say this. I went to the Bucks game last night, And I think that Comet's dunk right there might have been better than any dunk I saw last night in that matchup. However, just like that matchup last night,
bro.
hey, it doesn't matter. I was there watching the game. I'm just going to say this. Just like last night's matchup, it's coming down to the wire. Both these teams are neck and neck. They are fighting back and forth to try to take this series right now. And Comet is showing up for the Maulers right now. He is dunking. He is saving. He is flying around, but he's not being too flashy with it. That's the big thing. Let's see what can happen here in Game 4. Will the Maulers be able to find a way to take it home, or will the Lumberjacks bring it right back? Because if history repeats itself, Lumberjacks are about to take this, and we're going to Game 5.
And Lumberjacks, they need a serious win. This is probably one of the most important matchups, the way that standings have found themselves being fitted. If they win this, they will be tied for 3rd place. If they lose, they get put down to being tied for last. So it's a very important matchup for them, and it will knock Bloomington down a big peg on the standings. But I mean, I feel like if Lumberjacks played with the same efficiency as Bloomington have on their offensive side, they might be winning more of these games. Bloomington's shot percentage is vastly better than Lumberjacks, and they've kind of had to have that for just a very little times on offense. Speaking of which, though, Sean does find one and puts it through, but I can count on one hand the amount of times that Comet. I have to use my entire hand, to be fair, but I can count how many times Comet's had an insane solo play. I would need more than 2 hands to count the amount of times where Lumberjacks seem to have an open opportunity or an open net, and it just goes wide, or they like to pass it instead of shoot it, or someone's not there to capitalize. And I think just that lack of that finishing touch, which at the end of the day, it's all that matters. You can be as flashy, you can be as solid as you want. If you're not able to put it away, it won't matter. Just like there, the bump comes through, but there's no one to put it away.
Oh, Wesley with the shot across. Zodak trying to get one now. 2 attempts, but not one has sank. Comet with another one, not able to collect there once again. And now Lumberjacks are starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Or are they? Zodak is there after his attempt on goal, and Zodak brings it home finally. You talk about all these shot attempts. You might have to change that category if the Maulers continue to shoot at this pace. Here in Game 4, my goodness, 6 shots on goal to Lumberjacks 1 already. They are coming out double fisting right now.
Yeah, and I think that's just off of hype from that OT win. Fusion, he has a solo play of his own. What a beautiful control touch. Someone checked the front of his car. He must have put pine tar in the front of that thing. That ball was stuck to that. Oh my goodness, gets it around the entire defense. Goes under 1 and over 2.
Hey, you talked about Fusion Bleach before this series started, and you talked about the type of player that they are. And my goodness, that level of play right there will bring it home almost every time. So you got to be careful. Comet! Oh my goodness, what a save there by Team Lumberjack. We'll just call it a team save. And it looks like our lobby might be dying once again. Hopefully it's not taking too much effect to the players on the field.
Yeah, no one really asked for a server change at the end of OT. We're definitely capable of doing so, obviously, but I think they might have just chalked it up to a server hiccup, and it only seems to be affecting 2 players in the lobby, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this pass. It gets cut off by Zodak, but Sean's able for the rebound. Comet loses out of that 50. Fusion puts it out to the backboard, putting pressure, gets a beat on 1. That pops out a bit too far away for any Lumberjacks player to collect it, though. This one won't. Sean, beautiful control touch. Buying as much time as he possibly can. I love that play, just to sit there and wait for someone to challenge him. He doesn't need anyone to come to him. Kata will, though, as the team pinches it into the top of the net. Almost barred down. He can't really place it any better than that.
What a beautiful play there, set up by the Lumberjacks. And now every player on the team has scored. They're all getting involved. They're all in, they're all in the game right now. They're all 1 for 1. I just want to say that. Yeah. Team hat trick, indeed. So even with putting all these shots on goal, they're kind of looking like the Lumberjacks were in Game 1.
Right, and I just said, I don't know what it is. I said it before this game. What if Lumberjacks had the efficiency of Maulers, and They're 100% right now, and it's not off of open nets. Fusion had to solo air dribble it around the entire team to put that one through, but I mean, like, then the team pinch in the top of the net. And speaking of team plays, what a beautiful counterattack passing play coming out from the Maulers.
Mahler said, anything you can do, we can do better. Here's our team play. Let's pair them up side by side. You decide.
Just 1, 2, 3 down the field, just like connecting dots on a line. Can't really draw it up better than that. We've had this entire series, it seems like every game we get at least 2 absolutely crazy highlight goals. I don't know how the social team's gonna have. I don't know how they're gonna be able to pick any highlight to show on their Twitter, because I know MCS sometimes tweet out highlight clips from streams being like, hey, this, you know, the week blah 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 premiere went like this. I don't. This is what the first streamed game. We already have like 5 contenders for that.
We're just gonna have to post crazy. The first series in general. Just like, all right, go watch the first series. There'll be plenty. And right there, Wesley with a goal, and it is 3-3. We got a palindrome. 3-1, 3-1, 3. Let's go, baby.
And that's just, it's not a Stewie drum. We've had Stewie drums where he's up by a digit or two, but this one isn't true palindrome. And what else is true is the fact that Maulers have brought themselves back off of what has looked like very shaky defense in the Lumberjacks. They've just been caught awkward, especially after that counterattack. They still have the same issue where it just feels like they're overcommitting their second, and it's coming back to bite them. But since their second plays so aggressively, it allows them to stay on offense, and I think that's their strategy. I just think that they need to recognize more when it's just not there, when they just need to play defense, because, I mean, both of those goals were definitely preventable. This one from Comet might not be. He doesn't find the angle, though. Sean waiting patiently under the ball, gets it around 1. That's all he can really do, though. Wesley to the backboard. 2 Lumberjacks players ready for it. Huge clear out. Sean still gets beat to it, though. No one back on Lumberjacks to make a good touch, but Fusion plays that out just enough for his teammate to get a 50. Wesley plays it out to him. Zodak kills the ball in the corner. Fusion happy to take that 50. Kato with a huge win. Wesley on his back foot has to buy time for his team and does beautifully. Control touch. Might actually turn this one into an offensive attack. Goes low on the air dribble. Fusion is ready for it. Comet's ready for the shot, and it finds its way. Maulers are stealing this game out from the Lumberjacks right now.
I'm glad you didn't take a breath there for a second, because I was so ready to say I don't see it happening. I just don't see another overtime happening. And right as I was getting ready to say that, boom, Maulers are now up 4-3, 21 seconds on the clock. The game's not over, though. However, the series could be if the Lumberjacks cannot come back here in these final moments. Will the Maulers sneak this away? My goodness.
Bit of a miscommunication there, Fusion. Kind of getting too close to his teammate. Sean looked like he could have had a pass middle. Kato's awkward. Comet's very good at selling the ball in the air. He's electing to take this one out, but we know this Lumberjacks team can keep the ball up at 0 seconds. They're going to have to do it now. Pass off the backboard. Shot comes through. Will it find its way? It won't. Lumberjacks will not find the miracle that they needed, and it just falls away from them. They were in the lead for so long, and then 2 quick follow-up goals from the Maulers and a third one to cap it off. They find a string of 3 of their own, and Lumberjacks just aren't able to put this one away.
No, they were not able to capitalize there and take it into game 5. Mahler's able to sneak it through. Like I said, sometimes a better defense is the better offense. Being able to hold that defensive line, being able to capitalize on the mishaps from the defenders attacking, you know, they were able, their backs were against the wall many times, but Comet came through time and time again. I'm pretty sure if there's a clear-cut decision on who the MVP of this series is.
Yeah, that might be the MVP of the day. Comet, you can point to him single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, on the back of his team making an amazing defensive effort, but when the very few times they're in offense when they needed him the most, it was him. It was him doing the solo plays. It was him doing the resets, the dunks, the air dribbles, the double taps to keep amazing double tap to steal it. Just to steal it, put it in OT, and then able to win it in OT after a dunk. Pretty much single-handedly won that game for him, and despite the efforts of Lumberjacks, Maulers find themselves on top, and I think that was, just like you said, mostly to their defense, but Lumberjacks, especially on the transition between offense to defense, they were just caught out a lot. They saw a lot of times where their second man was really hardly overcommitted. Their third wasn't back yet or just in an awkward spot, and it left a lot of opening for a lot of quick counterattacks. And at this level, I mean, they're going to find each other. There's no room. There's very little room for error. As soon as players see the open space, they're going to take advantage of it full-heartedly.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say this. I saw a lot of haters out there in chat that we're not giving good words to Comet. But guess what, haters? Sit down, because Comet is here to shine as the burning star that they are. And we'll see if we can get another series like that coming up here after our break, where we will be seeing the Duluth Superiors taking on the Rochester Rhythm. So we'll be back here just shortly. Hang tight.
Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, 'cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to move. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to.
yes, we are back from that absolutely ridiculous series. It had like what 3 OTs in it.
Yeah, it just kept going.
Basically played 6 games worth of Rocket League in 4. You know, you got your buy one get one half off deal with that series, but yeah, we're heading straight into this one. This one between Rochester and Duluth, and Rochester making some roster moves. They have Stewie, Kyler, and Volt, and that's a very scary looking team. Stewie have a lot of Premier experience, Volt having a lot of Premier experience. Kyler, don't know much about him, but from what I've heard, again, just a very solid roster. But on the other end, Duluth, again, they have a lot of experience too. 4s especially, a very experienced Premier player. But I really like the potential of Rochester, and I'm already going to throw my prediction. I'm on Rochester, obviously, and you obviously know that I have no bias as a caster, so that's why I'm going to go Rochester in 3.
Well, I mean, I always like to see players that I recognize and they stand out to me. And I definitely see a lot of players that stand out to me on Rochester. I mean, I cast with Stewie. I mean, he's generally the guy running the stream on the back end every Friday night. He does a great job there. But it's not even Stewie that stands out to me. In all honesty, it's Volt Destroyer. That guy in itself is just a ridiculous player. Just a ridiculous player. I've been able to watch them grow throughout the circuit. Being in Wisconsin, sometimes you get those pleasures of seeing some of those players just kind of rise through the ranks. And I feel like Volt has definitely been one that has rised towards the top and definitely could help bring it home. However, I'm on goal, but they haven't been able to get towards net. They've just been on the offensive half.
Yeah, they have, and a couple of misflips coming out already from Rhythm. I saw Stewie backflip on a challenge in the midfield, and Kyler backflip on the challenge in the sidewall, but it won't matter. The team's able to make up for it, and they get more offensive pressure going. Volt, we know what he can do on the ball, but he doesn't have a lot of boost here. They're trying to make up for him. Can't get there. Now it goes over to Kyler, trying to buy time for his team. Takes it up high on the backboard. Good control. Gets the reset. Carries it all the way out to the midfield. So he's there for the follow. Leaves it out for Volt. Ain't good there. Brian up too quick, but Volt plays the ball. It pops out in the midfield. Touch not really where he wants it, but it pops out nice for Kyler. Getting challenged really aggressively by Crispy here, but leaves it out for Stewie with a big pop out to the midfield. Moving a lot of pressure. Puts their last man on the ball. Volt now out to the midfield. No one really there. On either team, Crispy goes missing, and now pressure coming from it for as he tries to control this one out to the side while trying to damage control, but it's not working out. Crispy finally gets some clear going, but Volt's already out in the midfield ready for it, and Rhythm already just pushing such an aggressive line forward right now.
Absolutely. And another double commit by the Superiors. We've seen a couple of them already as this game has started. I think right there was almost another double commit there once again. They need to get this chemistry going. They need to get the rhythm in place. Well, not really. They got to get the rhythm out of place, I should say. And they got to get the Superiors into place because right now they're looking a little rough around the edges. And I'll tell you this, the main reason why I actually didn't pick the rhythm, even though I wanted to, is primarily because they did make a pretty drastic roster change. And I feel like sometimes that could be just enough to shake it up in a good way. But it also could just take a week or two for really to come to form, really come to fruition. And I know even with that experience being in place, sometimes that tenacity coming from either of these players that enter onto the team could sometimes cause a misbalance. So we'll see if the rhythm can get it set in tone, or will the Superiors take over?
I think, despite that, though, I think if you put Stewie on any roster, it's going to be a solid roster. He's such a good all-around player. He's not as flashy as some of the other premier players. Comet comes to mind, Volt comes to mind, but he's just such a good, solid player. He just brings. It's just such a. He's like your super glue. You know, if you have any cracks or any broken bits of it, it feels so well, and he just makes it fit all so well together. And right now, I'm starting to see that like this team just recently got formed, and you already see passing plays. You already see them leaving the ball for each other. They're not double committing nearly as bad as this roster's been together for such a long amount of time. Kyler's shot just a bit soft, but they maintain pressure. Stewie, good 50, gets it around 2. Bryant stays on the ball, though. Low boost. Pinch doesn't go the way he wants. It leaves Volt on the ball. Gets it only as far as 4s, though. Kyler pops out to him. What does he have? He has a reset. Gets it around the defender. 4s there, so staying on his back line. I thought that might have been another highlight goal, but we stay alive. Still 0-0 as time ticks down.
Crispy grabbing it out the corner, tries to get something going there, gets halted by Kyler. Now Forrest putting it downfield. Volt grabbing from up top, met by the defender there. Bryant just kind of kicks it into his team's corner. Forrest going to grab hold. Stewie meets him at the mark. Volt just kind of dances it around the defenders and leaves it lazily in the corner. Bryant grabs hold, drives it downfield, goes for a shot, gets cleared there by Volt Destroy, passes it to Stewie, who now has a setup of his own. Forrest clears it away, down to Bryant, tries to tap it off the top of his car, doesn't quite get the landing there. Volt Destroyer now takes it, tries to push it towards that sidewall. Crispy is there, puts the pedal to the metal, adds some pressure onto the defender, and now Stewie, with 9 seconds left, sets it up for Volt. Volt cannot get it in, and it looks like we might have another overtime here to start out the match of this, or our first match of the series.
I know it's my birthday, and I know it's trying to give me all the rockets for the end, but I don't know how much I can handle. This is like what OT is this? Volt, he's gonna make sure it lasts longer than just a couple seconds. The beautiful pre-flip save, that kickoff going very awry. But he keeps it going. Crispy, he tries to end this one. How in the world does Volt not let that one through? What?
Volt is cracked on that one. My goodness, it's like he became another person. My goodness, with this, that was a savior of saves. I just want to say that he got the savior on that save as well. So that was the savior indeed of saves. My goodness, we're almost about 40 seconds into overtime right now. Tick-tock goes the clock, and you got to start feeling the pressure on either end right now. It's only game one, but my goodness, you're seeing some high-level Rocket League output already from both ends.
And both teams really equal on shots. That being said, Brian almost putting that one away. Very scary as it floats in front of the net. Clear out, though. Kyler's able to get to it for the 50. Stewie gets his boost on, though. He's left on the back foot by himself. Pass goes middle. Bolt gets demoed, and although he can make the miracle saves, he can't do it when he's not in the field. And Superiors pull out in game 1 OT.
A beautiful demo there by Forrest, creating the open opportunity, and the Superiors are now up 1-0. And like you said, Volt can't do it if he's not there. I talk about bully ball strategy. People ask me all the time, what is bully ball strategy? Right there, that's what it is. Taking control of the field when you need to, whether it's a bump, whether it's a demo. He chased a little bit on that one. I will admit he went a little out of his way, but it was at the right time. If you're going to do it, you got to do it and make it count, and that's exactly what Forrest did. And now we are looking at game 2, Superiors up 1. Volt's got to be a little tilted right now. It was in position, but got demoed. We'll see what happens here. Players kind of looking to find their placing on the field right now, but it looks like everyone is set and ready to go. So am I. How about you, Ari?
I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to see this action. And yeah, I would like to say too, they held Volt Destroyer to 0 shots, and that's not an easy thing to do whatsoever. Maybe that might just be the fact that Rhythm just haven't found their team chemistry yet. They haven't found their infield passes. They're trusting each other yet, but I don't know. Volt had some opportunities that game, and it was mostly, I wouldn't even say relegated, but he was most of the time he had to just play a defensive position because just the counterattacks from his team were so quick, and it took him getting absolutely ridiculous saves for them to even have a chance, and in the end, it didn't end up doing anything. Kyler's double tap goes wide again. Bit of a miscommunication. Stewie thought he might have had an easier shot. Volt was missing on that challenge. Kyler out to the corner. Gets it around 2. Dancing around defenders. Only gets as far as 4. It's a big team pitch out to the midfield. Now what they can do at the counterattack, just lobs it at the net. Easy save for Stewie. Off the backboard counterattack opportunity now. Goes around him, though, but only goes as far as Volt. But that's awkward in front of the net. Kyler was there, though, for the shot. Now pass out middle. No one there. Stewie, big clearance out. Giving his team time to recuperate. Giving him time to make a play on the ball. Bounces out to Kyler. Takes another ball up in the air. Another flip reset. Goes out to the backboard. Double tap. Gets it around 2 defenders. Who is that for? It's Crispy. Someone rotated back post and luckily get there just in the nick of time to prevent another highlight play from happening.
Crispy just trying to get it downfield, trying to buy some time for his team at the moment. Kyler puts it up. Force meets him up top. Brian at the 50 tries to get something set up there for his teammate by midfield. Tries to just get it out of there, and Stewie grabs it. Tries to get a goal there. And now Kyler is up, puts it off that corner. Crispy there to kick it away. A lot of attempts to try to get it near goal here by the Rhythm, but they still have not been able to get a single shot on goal yet here in game 2. And a nice one set up there, and Crispy brings it home.
I thought Bryant put this in off here. That would have been ridiculous. And Forrest pops it away. Looked like the miss. Pops it away from Volt. The pinch goes in their favor, and all 3 players on Superiors are there. And right now, Rhythm held to nothing on offense. They look dead right now. They've had opportunities. They've had things go middle, but nothing's been on target. And they just don't look like they can. It's 1-0, but you need to shoot the ball. You need to score it in order to win at the end of the day.
Yes, you do. And right now, Superiors, like you said, 6 shots on goal to Rhythm's 0. 0 shots on goal for the Rhythm. I don't think you can win a game if you don't shoot it on goal. That's kind of what you just said, but I'm going to reiterate a little bit differently. You know, we got to get the Rhythm in the action. They got to start, instead of just trying to get it near goal, you got to get it on goal.
They got to tune their instruments properly. They got to get in the right feel of things, get the tempo going, you know, make sure.
I want to bang on my drum all day. Let's go. Something like that, you know, make it happen.
They got to make sure they're all reading the same sheet music, because right now it just feels like they're playing the wrong song.
They are out of tune.
Yeah, they are. It's just, I think it's just side effects of new rosters. Same thing happened to me first week of my new roster. Just wasn't able to put anything together despite being close games. And similar story. I mean, if you're able to keep your head in the game without shooting the ball whatsoever, okay, never mind. 2 goalie, that's an entirely different story. But it might be my birthday, but I'm still not immune to the caster curse.
I just want to say, though, when this match started, like I said, I really like the way that Rhythm look on paper. They're a really solid-looking team. But the Superiors, they didn't really make an adjustment. They just kind of felt that they were in a good position already. They felt that they could still hold it together, you know, keep that line where they needed it to be. They felt the chemistry was in place, and they just decided to ride it home. But the Rhythm wanted to make an adjustment, and although it was a good adjustment, like you said, Stewie's a great addition to your squad. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes 2 weeks to really build that chemistry and feel like you're really in tune and like everything is moving the way that you want it to. And Bryant, once again, with another goal. Superior is just trying to really take it home early here in this matchup. I don't know if we're going to 5.
Yeah, might go the exact opposite way I was trying to go. Trying to make it go. I said Rhythm in 3 and might be Superiors in 3. Is they're up 3-0 right now. Still 0 shots for Rhythm. I have no idea what's happening. That one doesn't count as one either. Pops high over the net. Kyler leaves it for Stewie. Stewie just not able to get on the ball. Too low boost. Finds his mark there. Goes out to the midfield. No one able to get to it in time. Kyler, awkward touch out middle. Gives it around Crispy. Before Zeta pounce on it. Now, Stewie. Touch out to the midfield. Not really finding anyone. Force collecting it. Gets it around Volt. He does get a demo on the ball, though. Opens it up for Kyler. Big streak across the midfield. Trying to rush it onto the net. Gets 1 shot. There's 1. Where's the follow? Stewie around 1. Dunked away from the ball by 54. Is muscling it through. Crispy out to the side while Volt's ready for him. Now pass it up middle. Kyler. Block. Stewie's there for the rebound. That shot's on target. Crispy, will he get there in time? Yes, he will. Kyler will not get the dunk. 2 shots following through. Volt now What does he have? That's the midfield, but not really anything happening. Bryant staying behind it, not allowing anyone to shoot it. Stewie, what does he have? Does he have a pass? He does over to Volt, but Crispy getting there right in time. Kyler looking to shoot it low. Bryant with a big rush in across the goal line. Takes it. Stewie, what does he have? Pass down middle, not going to find its way. Kyler's shot high out to the corner, not finding anything. And Rhythm, they had eventually shots on the target, but it was, what you say, a day short. A
day late and a dollar short. Yep. Unfortunately, they're just not able to string it together right now. I mean, they're stringing something right now, but it's all out of tune and it's a little out of whack right now. They got to get, they got to find a way to sharpen it. They got to find a way to just hone it in, because right now it just sounds like they're just like slapping on anything they can find and trying to make some noise. And the Superiors, they kind of came in with a mission. They came in with a goal at heart, and they are playing it through. And right now, the Rhythm just need to take a deep breath. They're not out of it. It's not over. It's not done with, but you're definitely behind. This is something where you guys could turn it around. We could see a potential, set up for a reverse, but feels a little out of reach right now, but I never want to just count it out.
Yeah, they were able to still stay competitive in that for most of that game, despite just having literally zero offense. And I'm confused because this team on paper looks to be a very offensively capable roster, but it may just be, okay, never mind. Volt puts that one top right, and they find a goal right away in Game 3.
Maybe they just need to move through simplicity, because that didn't seem like there was anything too flashy there. They just found the mark, and they got it to where it needed to be. Maybe they're overthinking it. Maybe that's the big thing. When you get a new team together, sometimes you want to try things. You want to look at things and expect things to be, this is what it's going to be all of a sudden because you're on the team. That's not always the case. But right there, Bryant brings it right back. It's 1-1. We'll see. Like I said, chemistry is a big thing when it comes to any level of play. And right now, they're a little out of sync and they're a little out of whack. But with that first goal, maybe they can find it again. As Superiors now bring it back, though, we'll see what happens. 4:41 left on the clock.
Just an unfortunate happening from the kickoff. Got smoke screen off the ball. Couldn't see what's happening. See what Volt can do with this ball. Stuck to his car. Don't know if he's borrowed the Pine Tar from Volt Destroyer from last series. Sorry, Fusion Bleach. Might have taken some off of his car, but doesn't quite get the highlight goal that he had. Volt goes missing. Does get it around Bryant though. Stewie bringing this one downfield. Forrest, he brings this one to his corner. Touch doesn't really go the way he wants. It leaves it for Cripplefy. Kyler, beautiful 50 out. Volt gets a beat over passes Stewie just too far away. He just barely can't get there. And I'm just not seeing confidence in the rotations from Rhythm. They just look very spaced out. They're trying to just kind of taking turns going from the ball. They're not really following what each other do on it. And whenever they do, it's kind of a chase scramble to the ball, just trying to throw themselves at it. Not really anything where you're really like doing anything with your teammates. You're just kind of taking turns going for the ball.
Absolutely. And it's 1-1. But, Superiors could just take that, take that rhythm, take that momentum that they've already been pulling throughout this series, just continue to ride it home. They definitely were the last team to score. So right now it's a little bit more in their favor. The Rhythm haven't been able to put too much together. At least they're getting shots on goal here in this Game 3. But will they be able to continue to drive it home? I am not certain of that.
And it is a tie game. And Rhythm, they're starting to find at least some marks on offense, but it's just something just feels off. It's just Volt doesn't feel like Volt, Stewie doesn't feel like Stewie, and I don't know what's happening on their defensive line right now. That's just, Kyler just gets beat off the bar. I mean, you can't really do anything. And
hey, sometimes you get baked, sometimes you get burnt, and then occasionally you might just get crispified. So right now, Superiors are up 2-1, 2:53 on the clock. Take them out the oven, because last thing they want is to get torched in this one. Can the Rhythm get it in sync, or what will happen?
And I just don't even think they have an instrument right now. There's just nothing. It's just empty. I don't really know what to say. It just feels empty. Like, Volt Destroyer's goal early on was nice, but other than that, it's been very... I don't really know what to say. It's just been mid. It's just been very NPC Rocket League.
With a save. What a nice save.
And it will be hard to score when your defensive line is doing that, but there's just no tenacity coming out from... Okay, so Volt will only score the ball when I shit talk his team. That seems to be the only time when he wants to put it in the back of the net.
He's tuned in. He can hear you. You know, he knows what's happening on the other end, and he wants to bring it back. He does not want to go home just yet. Remember, everybody, whether you win 1 game, 2 games, but all that really matters is who wins 3 games.
Oh,
you
Kyler
take home
the kickoff.
all of the points in the series. All of the points. So if you win a game and you lose the series, guess what? You get nothing for that effort other than just a heartache, a headache, and a lot of broken tears. So we'll see what happens. Can the Rhythm continue to put the pedal to the metal? Because right now they're starting to show a flash in the pan.
Yeah, and Volt being the main leader, I mean, you're expecting him to be the main leader of the team, but not this much. He's had pretty much all of the goals except that one from Kyler to give them the lead. That one, dangerous. He gets another save. You can see it on the scoreboard as well, just having so many, just constantly on top of it. And I understand that's his role for the team, but I don't even think anyone else needs to step up. I just think they need to play together. Otherwise, lapses in rotation like that will happen. No one back. And
it's like a game of golf. He's shooting through the clutter and he's calling out fours.
there's just no one back on the defensive line for that, and that's not an unsavable shot. Just again, just a lapse in communication, a lapse in rotation. They're just most of this is, again, I think you're pretty accurate in what you were saying. This team just new to each other. They haven't felt each other out yet, but what they are feeling out right now is the goal. As I was saying about their lack of offense, now every single player on the team has at least a goal.
Yes, they do indeed. Yeah, every single player on the field has a goal right now. Let's correct that. But every single player on the Rhythm does indeed. And now Volt's trying to stack it. He's saying, all right, Rhythm, let's go for 2 each now.
Yeah, and Rhythm, I think, looking just to try to hold this 1-goal lead out to as long as they can take it. They need a game, and they need it pretty desperately, because if they lose, they're out. And like you said, it doesn't matter if they win this one and lose the next one. Doesn't do anything for their points. The double tap won't do anything for them. Kyler with an amazing read on where he was going to place it. I have no idea how he had the foresight to get to that ball on time. And now Volt Destroyer on the breakout turns it into a goal on the other end.
Volt with the hat trick, and Stewie getting a bunch of saves, getting himself a playmaker for himself. So we have a playmaker, we have a hat trick, and we have a savior on the other end. But that savior doesn't mean much when you're down by 2.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it was just random sparks of offensive solo plays or something, but now Rhythm are trying, they're finding each other a lot more. They're following up on their touches a lot better rather than just having what it's been, where it's just people just trying to do solo play after solo play and just trying to keep carrying the ball. I think they just need to have more trust in each other to sometimes pass it or bang it. Just like there, a pass over to Volt leads to another goal. Not quite, it goes off the crossbar. I thought it was in from my angle. Kyler, he's going to just try to buy this timeout. Will do it very well. And yeah, Rhythm taking game 3 in very close fashion towards the end.
Yes, they did. But the question is, are you sold? Are you sold that the Rhythm have finally strung it together, that they are going to turn it around right now? Or you think it's a little bit, like I said, was it a flash in the pan? Was it just enough to see a spark of what we'll expect to see maybe moving forward in the season? Or are they starting to really kind of build it together? They're starting to understand each other a little bit more. They're giving the necessary calls, because there's a difference between just like unnecessary communication and then giving the direct necessary call-outs that are needed to get that result. So are we sold that the Rhythm have strung it together, they have it figured out, or will the Superiors just take it home?
I mean, Stewie had 3 assists, and I was talking about them trying to play off each other more, so there's that. Bolt Destroyer still being the main deciding factor. He was the one at the end of the day who had the most shots, who had the most goals, who had the most points. And that honestly is wild to say. Yeah, Bolt Destroyer dropped a hat trick and is averaging like 500 points in the series. That's I would argue an average performance for him. He's such a good player. Whether he's stuck even with the zero shots game he had, he still had so many saves and kept his team alive through that. So no matter what he does in the field, it always just seems to end up having such a big impact. And I just think depending on how his teammates play around him and how he plays around his teammates is going to be the big deciding factor. If they continue to have games like that where they play well off each other, then I think they will end up going for the reverse sweep. Because right now, most of the goals that have been scored on Rhythm have just been off of rotational lapses and misplays like that.
With already 40 seconds off the clock, we're seeing the Rhythm come out with that same mentality that they had there in our last series. And they are just continuing to hammer it home right now, trying to take more shots on goal, trying to keep the Rhythm at bay so that they understand what is needed from each other and how they can work together to get that result. Kyler with a nice flick up top. Stewie not able to knock it back down. Volt with an attempt. Third time might have been a charm, but not in that case.
You finally see some team play coming out from them, and it ends up almost going south as a counterattack. Almost led to a goal, but I like seeing that. They're trusting each other on the follow-ups. They're being there for each other's passes, and if they keep doing that on offense, if they keep that pressure going, then I really genuinely see themselves coming back in the series, but they're going to need to maintain that throughout this game and the next one. Just try to take it one at a time, and misplays on the goal line like that aren't going to help them at all as Bryant finishes that one off.
MCS fam, if you're in chat right now, who do you have? Do you have the Superiors or do you have the Rhythm taking this series? And has that changed throughout the series? Did you come in with a certain mentality, feeling one team would win? Kind of like how we did. We felt the Rhythm were going to have a little bit more in their tank coming out the gate, but unfortunately they weren't, and now they're fighting from behind. Or do you think the Superiors are just going to continue to bring it home here in this series? Let us know.
Bolt with a big pop over one, takes it to the ceiling for himself, leaves it for Stewie, just barely can't get there. Bryant holding his line strong. Now Kyler, he has the ball. What can he do? A musty. All 3 players in Duluth having to make up for that one. Stewie keeping it going. Touch goes out too hard. Bolt gets cut off on the pass attempt. Crispy taking this one slow, pops it up high, not on target. Stewie still making touch onto the backboard. Bryant almost getting the shot off. A little bit of a double commit from Rhythm. Now Kyler. And out to the side. Middle, bit of a dangerous play. Still, Volt Destroyer is able to get the 50 and the pass back over to middle. Kyler keeps possession, hard bang up high. 2 Duluth players almost go missing on that one. Stewie was looking to capitalize, but the touch just throws him off enough. Kyler there for the rebound. Crispy, bit of a dangerous touch in front of his net, forces both of his teammates to try to go up for that one. Stewie can't quite get there. Kyler now gets it out to the side. Only goes as far as Bryant with a beautiful pass off the backboard, and Crispy puts it top right. I mean, that's just... I was racking on Rhythm's rotation, but I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. It's just an amazing pass and amazing shot.
Not to mention, Bryant's kind of had it together most of this series. We've seen them at the top of the leaderboard. We see them getting their goals, getting those setup assists. They've been doing a great job being a major team component and being definitely a dynamic leader here in this matchup. If they're not the leader, it'd be confusing for me because it looks like they're definitely leading at the helm right now and putting the team on their back when it is necessary.
And I was trying to chalk up Rhythm saying to just, oh, they're not trusting each other. This entire series, it just felt off, and I don't know if they feel the same way. I don't know if they're just having an off day. If it's a new team, new roster, they're trying to feel each other out, and just the jitters and things like, honestly, that come from it, just everyone bunched up. But there's a lot of potential with this squad, and I think if they can get it together, they can be really a threatening force in Premier, but they only have so much time left in the season to work through it. They're going to have to put in time in scrims. But, I mean, if they're able to carry it this far, it might not be that much more they have to come. I just think they just need to get a more structured team rotation and team strategy going.
Well, see, here's the thing, Ari. We'll go back to before this series started and the words that I was trying to speak. It's not the fact that I was like, oh, Rhythm, we're just going to get rolled or anything like that. In my mind, the reason why I was so like, yeah, go Rhythm, but then I'm like, no, Superiors are going to win. It's really because in a game of Rocket League, there's 3 players on the field. That's it. There's 3 players. It's not like basketball where there's 5-man. It's not like, NFL where you got 11-man on the field or baseball. It's none of those where you have an exponential more amount of players on the field. 3 players, everybody's got to be hitting on all cylinders. Everybody's got to be in communication. Everything's got to be landing. People have to feel comfortable in their flow. And I just felt coming into this series, knowing that there was that adjustment, and we're seeing it on the board, that the Superiors felt comfortable. They stayed with what they knew, and that's what they're riding with. And the Rhythm are just struggling a little bit to get it together. We're seeing, like you said, a little bit of jitters. We're seeing some double commits. We're seeing a little bit of hesitation. We're seeing, them not utilizing their team plays as much as they could. A little bit more solo plays happening. And with that being said, they're going to look at this. They're going to come back next week. And Bryant with the hat trick. They're going to come back next week, and they're going to come back fighting even harder. I'm just going to say that. I don't expect the Rhythm for this to be a regular occurrence for the Rhythm going forward.
Yeah, I think they should need to use this in the replay reviews, use it as a learning experience, and just look at what they did wrong and put it behind them and get what they can, because the longer they linger on this loss, the worse it's going to be for them. Because, I mean, if they played like they did in Game 3, I think they could have rolled Superiors, but especially with the way Volt was doing solo plays and Stewie was just setting things up. Like everyone was doing their part, and that seemed unfortunately like an anomaly compared to the other games where it would just, like you said, everything just kind of felt off. And I think at the end of the day, that's what mattered. Although I think in terms of raw talent, Rhythm might have had the upper hand. At the end of the day, it's a team game, and the better team will win.
Absolutely. And, kudos to the Rhythm for making that move, making that adjustment. Tip to the hat. Dan's proud of you, Stewie. You gave it your all out there on the field, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough today. And you'll come back swinging harder next week. We definitely know it. So, congratulations to the Rhythm. We had 2 3-1 series back to back, except for Series 1 felt like it went the distance. However,
it's crazy.
It is going to be the Atlas and the Flyers coming in next. And it is going to be Etro and Wesley making his debut. He can talk about all the awesome things happening here at the Premier level since he's been competing up here. Thank you to Ari for being my co-caster today. I appreciate you being here. I'm always excited to be here. I'm Joseph the Voice. I just want to say thank you to all of you. And I think we're going to send it out here and let you guys get ready for this next series.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We are here with Premier Week 5, the third series of the day on stream. And the first two series, we had Bemidji Lumberjacks versus Bloomington Maulers, the Maulers winning 3-1. And the second series was Duluth Superiors versus Rochester Rhythm, with Superiors winning 3-1. Now for this next matchup, we have Mankato Atlas versus the St. Cloud Flyers. And Wesley, what are your thoughts on how this one might go?
So here we got the Flyers are sitting at 4th right now in points, and they've looking pretty good in the start of the season. They are kind of falling off a little bit on the losing a couple of their last series, but I think they're gonna pull it out today and upset the Atlas, who are in 3rd.
Yeah,
But
they're
it's
actually, I see they're tied for both 3rd and 4th. They're kind of the same
Yeah.
amount of points. So it's going to
Same
be a
game
battle for that
difference.
3rd place spot.
So yeah, you got the Flyers, which is Bubbly Reaper, Vogs, and Trash, and then the Atlas of Ambrosia. Everybody knows Ambrosia, Fuego, and Fishy. So yeah.
Yeah, it's an exciting game. And I see here that Trash right now is the highest in the league right now for assists per game. So hopefully we'll be able to see quite a bit of passing plays going on here.
Yeah.
All
Here
right,
we
all
are
the players are
game
in.
1.
Yeah.
Fairly standard kickoff. Looks like it's going to go in way of the Flyers. Probably going to take it up to the air. And Trash just able to slot it. We were just talking about him with his highest assists in the game, but this one he's going to take home to himself.
Yeah, he's just positioned perfectly in the middle, and Bubbly Reaper got a nice beat over, I think it was Ambrosia, and they found the back of the net.
It's a hot start for the Flyers. See if the Atlas have anything to say about that.
Yeah, demo trade coming out, but not from the same two people.
Trash just putting that one off the crossbar, but Boggs is there to follow it up, and there we are with Trash's signature assist.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, very, very high pressure on the offense coming out from, let's see, that's the, can't remember which team that is.
That's the Flyers, yeah.
That's the Flyers, thank you.
You know, you think on paper the Atlas look almost unbeatable, you know, with Ambrosia, who's won before, and you got Fuego, who he's won with, and both of our top players in the league when they're on ours, but they are just getting absolutely obliterated right now.
Yeah, and also with Ambrosia and Fuego both winning, what was it, 2 seasons ago, and they're teammates in college as well, so they've had a lot of chemistry built with each other and a lot of team play to work with each other, but they haven't quite been able to get it started yet this series.
Yeah, it's a real slow start for the Atlas. Let's see if they can get something going here, but Trash is looking to take it in the air. Flip reset over 1. Ambrosia's going to get the save.
All right, Fuego up on the backboard, looking to get a clear out on this one, maybe to Fishy with a nice little 50. Fox is there to receive it, and he's going up in the air, maybe looking for a flip reset. 50. But Ambrosia clears that one out, but Trash is ready to collect and gets 50'd and dunked by Ambrosia, but still beats out the next opponent. And wow, just a 50 all the way downfield by Bubbly Reaper, and it finds the back of the net.
Yeah, Bubbly's going to just slot that one across the entire field. That's about an 80-yarder. But we were talking about Trash before on how he's #1 in assists. I think Bubbly's either going to be #1 or 2 in demos per game as well, so something to look out for.
For sure, and I remember that from, I think last season, Trash was the fastest player in the league across all, if I remember right, the fastest player with the most like average speed, so that's also probably coming out a little bit in this season, assuming that he's still along with that same play style. So we've seen him get a lot of beats, probably likely due to that.
And we've been talking about Bubbly and Trash here, but
Wow,
Fuego is the name we should be
insane.
talking about. It's a great pass from Fishy. Rose is going to dish it out. Fishy's going to slot it in there right to Fuego, who's just going to skim it right past two of the Flyer defenders. That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, just perfectly lined up, ready for the redirect. That was a nice play.
Yeah, someone else we kind of expecting to see a little more of this series was Vogs, but as I say that, Ambrosia is gonna slot that one into the bottom left corner.
Yeah, a quick little kickoff goal. He got the boost from Bubbly Reaper, and Bubbly couldn't quite make the touch to his teammate, so Ambrosia was able to take the net.
Interesting car choice out of Ambrosia. Don't see too many Dominuses anymore. I'm all for it. I think it's a great car, but let's see if he can do anything with that.
Yeah, for sure. Ambrosia is definitely a mechanical player, so sometimes having that dominus for the extra power on the touches and the extra strong flicks is all that you need to get past the defenders.
Yeah, the Dominus with being one of those flat cars can very powerful flicks and tough touches. Fishy
Wow,
is gonna
Fishy
put
up.
that one top right to bring
Yeah,
the
up super fast from the flick over here.
gonna cut the lead down to 1 with 3 minutes left. Can you believe that? We're not even halfway through the game and we have 7 goals.
Yeah, it's very high scoring game for sure.
Pretty standard kickoff. Boggs is gonna take it. He's gonna get demoed by Ambrosia. Why go up? Gonna play the 50. 2 Atlas defenders up for that ball. Ambrosia takes it to safety.
Boggs with a nice little pop, Trash up, looking for the shot, and it's good.
Trash
It
able
was
to
nice
slot that.
pressure by Bubbly. It looked like he was really awkward and not quite hitting the ball, but it was enough for them to force the ball to Boggs, which worked out for their team.
Yeah, Trash getting up real fast for that ball there and just able to beat up the defense. You know, Trash is one of those players who has grinded his way through the league and really improved a lot. You know, he was challenger a few seasons ago, and here he is shining in Premier. So it's always a cool thing to see.
Yeah, Trash with the hat trick already, and see if he can maybe find some more. Ambrosia gets some control on this ball, pops it over one. Fishy there for the receive. And Ambrosia on the ball again, looking for an outplay here, but Vogg's there to block it off. Fishy trying to keep the pressure in, but Trash gets the block. And that goes straight out to Bubbly. Ambrosia with a crazy save. Fuego up looking for the redirect, but dunked by Vogs.
This one's looking a little dangerous. Fuego just wide there is Vogue. Looks like the air dribble this one to safety. He's gonna stay on it, put a 50 middle, but no one is there. Bubbly just able to get a piece of that to keep it out of his own net. As Fuego and Vogs go up for this one, but Fuego is just a little too slow. Trash. 50's not going in his favor. As Vogs clears it and Trash is there. Can he get the angle? He cannot. It bounces in front of his net. Ambrosia up in the air. Ambrosia doing his thing. Fishy saved by Bubbly Reaper. What a save.
Yeah, it was a very good shot attempt over here by, oh my gosh, by I think the Atlas. Yes, the Atlas. But unfortunately, it got hit the crossbar and Bubbly was able to get a save on it.
And if we're looking at these teams, we're looking at these teams last week. The Flyers lost a Game 5 to Fargo Steelhawks, who are one of the favorites to win this league. As Ambrosia takes it low, Fuego's going to finish it. But they also lost 3-1 to the Chicago Jungle, who just made a big roster change.
Yeah, Ambrosia, as we were talking earlier, a very mechanical player, showing off those mechanics, faking out the defender and getting it underneath him, even though he didn't get a connect on the flip reset fully. And an open net here for Bubbly Reaper. Such
Bubbly's
a high-scoring game.
Yeah, that's the 10th goal of the game.
Yeah.
No, but
if you
back
look
to
at the
last
stats-
week's matchup, Mankato Atlas also lost to the Chicago Jungle. Little fun fact there.
Oh wow! So this is really a battle for who's gonna get third here. And looking at the stats here, it's pretty even across the board. But the goals are coming out a little bit more for Atlas out here.
Yeah, there's 15 seconds left. Let's see if the Atlas can pull out a miracle. They're going to need one to go in soon. Fuego's going to bring it towards the net, but it's just going to die into the corner.
Yeah,
As Trash clears it, this game is good as over.
Yeah, great play by Trash there to make sure to buy the extra time and not really give an opening for the Atlas there.
Vogs trying to sneak one in for 0 seconds, but saved away.
We didn't
Overall-
really do any predictions here. I know there's been a game 1, but who do you think is going to take this one, Wesley?
You know, it's going to be a close match for sure. I think this one's going to go the distance to 5, but I do think the Flyers are going to edge it out. How about you?
You know, I've been a little bit of a fan of the Ambrosia Fuego duo for a bit now, and so seeing them back together, I really want to see them piece it together and maybe take this one, hopefully in 4, maybe in 5.
Yeah, I like that prediction too. What do you think Atlas could do differently next game to maybe find the missing piece?
So the strongest thing I remember from Ambrosia and Fuego as a duo mainly was that a lot of times one would act like they're going for the ball and then fake it for the other one to take a really strong shot that was very unexpected for the other team. And I haven't really seen that much of that happening this game. It's been more individual or just a clean pass play that is somewhat readable, but usually they're doing it very fast. So maybe that would be a solution to get some more pressure on the opponents.
Yeah, it's definitely good ideas if they are able to implement it. But we're gonna start off early and very fast paced like last game already. The pressure is gonna be on
Ambrosia with a lot of space, looking to get a 50 out of Trash here, and he got it, but Bubbly's there to challenge right after the force. Fuego got to pop up to himself, looking for somebody mid, but there's nobody there. Ambrosia with a nice little buffer touch to try to buy some more time for his team, and then a block preventing the Flyers from getting that goal.
Bubbly's gonna shut down Fuego's solo play. As Trash pops it up, Bubbly. It's gonna go up in the air. Fuego and Vogs. Who's gonna win the race? It's Vogs. The ball.
And a nice pop
is a
by
nice-
Bubbly, and they find the back of the net.
Yeah, Trash is looking superb this series. He's doing everything right. He's just shooting the ball where he needs to and getting it to the back of the net.
Yeah, definitely an outstanding player. He's already had, I think, 4 goals this series. So definitely a strong player so far. Let's see if he keeps it up.
Yeah, Trash is so far the MVP of this series. Granted, we are only on game 2, but he's playing amazing. Ambrosia takes this to the back of the net. Almost looked like he was going to double, but the ball just able to sink in there right before the crossbar.
Fuego with the fake musty to get the 50 there. It was a very clever play, and Ambrosia was just ready and reading it.
Yeah. So here we are, a minute in, and almost living up to last game. Not quite as many goals, but still enough to keep the game interesting.
Most definitely.
It's Trash looking to find the backboard there. Does not make contact. As Fuego almost pre-jumping, he was up so early for that ball. Roja puts it back off the backboard, looking for the double tap, does not get it. As though the pressure is still in the orange half. Broja is just going wall to wall by himself, just having fun out there. But it looks like it's finally getting cleared.
It's seeming like the Atlas out here are doing a very good job of keeping possession of the ball this game, making it a little bit harder for the Flyers to create an attack on on the Atlas side. And I think that might be a strategy that's going to work for them. But as they get a breakaway, a fake, and it ends up finding its way into the net.
Bubbly Reaper goes up to try to maybe fake Fishy, and that is they don't teach that. They do not teach that anymore. That is a great fake from Bubbly over his brother Fishy, something we did not mention earlier. This is a brotherly match with Fishy and Bubbly Reaper.
Yeah, and I know I've played against Fishy a bit with WCRL, and I know that he's a very, very controlled player as well. And so I think that he definitely fits on this squad pretty well, because both Ambrosia and Fuego are definitely very controlled players.
Yeah, Ambrosia, everybody knows, is that mechanical, insane, fast-paced player. Fuego is very consistent and just does what he needs to do. Also a very good player when on ours. And Fishy is more of a third man who just doesn't really let the ball past him much. I think that's probably going to be their key to success is if Fishy's going to be able to lock down against the Flyers, not let anything past him.
Yeah, I'm noticing Ambrosia during this series, as he gets a goal, is being very, very bump and devil heavy, and I think it's opening up a lot of space for the team to continue to make some threatening attempts on net here.
Yeah, Ambrosia just able to squeeze that one through the defense there and put it in the bottom center of the net. So we're looking into this next kickoff. Game tied at 2-2, almost 2 minutes left in the game. Vogg's going to get a demo. Fishy.
Bubbly's gonna get the demo and continue to follow his ball, but Fishy gets a nice little beat around him. Trash is ready, looking for the double. Does he get it? Not quite, but Bubbly's there to finish the goal. Very, very quick goal off of the quick-off there. There's only about 20 seconds between kickoff and goal.
Yeah, there it is again. Seeing that player fake for his teammate right in front of the net. It's got the Flyers their last 2 goals here now. So let's see if they keep doing that or if they're going to throw in hitting the ball this time and just completely faking out the defense again, leaving them in shambles, not knowing what to think.
Boggs with a nice cutoff from Fishy, trying to make it awkward for him, but Fishy finds a 50 around Trash. Bubbly to the sidewall, cut off by Fuego. And a dunk by Fuego over Vogg's clear, just to find the net. And tied game, 1 minute, 34 seconds left.
Yeah, Fuego using all of that Fennec to dunk Voggs, I believe, right into the back of the net to tie this one up.
And another kickoff. Normal standard kickoff here. Trash ready to receive the ball, but Fuego's there. Catching, taking some space. It gets beat past one, but Bubbly's there to get a clear.
Bubbly is looking for demos, as he does. Vogg's going to play this one back to the midfield. Fishy is going to be that third man rock, clearing it. Vogg's just going to send this one far as Trash is pre-jump. Back down to Vogg's. Slow play flick, saved by Ambrosia.
Ambrosia looking for some control on this ball, seeing if he can beat out one, but Trash is there. And he gets past 2. Fuego and Voggs battling for the ball. Voggs is up, almost gets the double, but not quite. Voggs on the ball again, very low boost to see if he can get it mid to his teammate, but Fuego's there for the cutoff. Fishy also with 0 boost on this ball, looking for absolutely anything he can get.
And is going to come back to the orange half as Voggs takes it out of there. Bubbly on the ball, but Ambrosia gets it by him, not once but twice. Then Trash comes in to save the day for the Flyers. Vogg's going to hit this one off to the side. Ambrosia with the double tap to Bubbly Reaper, who pops it up and gets dusted by his brother Fishy. 10 seconds left in this game. Let's see if there's any last second pushes for a goal. As it is in the blue half, Flyers have control. The beat over 1, and Voggs with the game to ice to put them up by 1 with 1 second left on the clock.
A very nice beat by Trash there, again with that speed coming out, and Voggs was just ready on the goal line, barely beating out the defender. Let's see if anything can happen here with this last second, but it's very, very difficult, and the ball's down.
There was 0 chance for the Atlas there. That ball went immediately to the ground off the kickoff, and there wasn't much more they could do after that.
Yeah, that game I noticed was definitely a bit closer for sure. I definitely think that is credited to Atlas slowing down the play a lot and really trying to find these beats and making the Flyers lose their momentum, kind of playing against what like Trash is kind of known for with his speed. And it was enough to kind of shake them up a little bit, but it seems that they're able to bring it back here with 1 second remaining. So we'll have to see what happens next and if they can figure out a different solution to get around this Flyers offense and defense.
Yeah, even though the Flyers are up 2-0 this series, it has been exciting. It has not been a blowout. These goals are amazing goals, and it's just been, with that 1 second goal, practically 0 seconds, it's been a nail biter, and it's just full of excitement.
Yeah, and both games, very high scoring games, especially for a Premier lobby. We have 10 in the first game and 7 in the second game. And I wonder if that trend will continue or if we'll see maybe only a 1-goal game.
I'm going to put it out there. I think we're going to see 3 goals this game. There's going to be more of a mellow game.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there on that. I think that they're gonna hopefully hunker down and figure out something that might work a little better for keeping the score down.
Yeah, if you're the Atlas here, you're gonna want to try to figure something out, as it looks to almost be the case for Ambrosia. And then if you're also the Flyers, you're gonna want to not get too laid back. You're up 2-0, but job's not done. So you want to play like it's game 1 and just get your series done and over with. Quick little 3-0. You don't want to get complacent and almost get a comeback in a way.
For sure. Bubbly Reaper getting a flip reset on that, but can't connect again. Trash ready, looking for a second touch to Vogs, but dunked by Fishy. Ambrosia's there to collect and maybe finds the open net. Yes, he does.
Ambrosia, the ball just coming right to him after the great 50 by Fishy. He's just able to put that one home. No one there.
Yeah, and earlier I saw Fishy putting on some demo pressure and a nice little touch to make it really awkward in the Flyers' corner, and they're able to, down the line, turn it into a goal, so it seemed to work. A nice pass from Fishy to Ambrosia. Ambrosia tries to go to himself off of the corner, but unfortunately misses it. A nice little pop, Fuego's up, gets one flip reset, and he can't really follow it up, but still gets the 50. Ambrosia beats out Vogs here and looks for a pass, or maybe a fake and a bump, but not quite enough, and a clear out from Trash.
Yeah, the pressure is mounting for the Atlas, as Bubbly Reaper does not want that to happen. He's going to 50 it. It's going to go over to Vogs, who's looking a bit awkward, but here he goes for a solo play. As I say that, Fishy is not going to let that one happen. Bubbly puts it middle. It's a great mid pass cut off by Ambrosia, but nobody was there for the Flyers. As Fuego takes a furious shot, but is saved by Vogs.
Yeah, great play by Vogs on the backboard there to make sure he's covering the option, because the ball was past both the orange defenders on that clear. Ambrosia up for this one, looking for maybe a catch or a clear with 0 boost. Vogs gets the double. Bubbly up for 50, and that might be not quite a goal. Fuego's up, looking for maybe a pass out to Ambrosia here.
As Vogs is looking to take control, gets it out of his half. Fishy gives it right back to him. And a pinch almost goes straight to the Flyers' backboard. Trash clears it, and Ambrosia with a double touch off the sidewall. Fishy's going to beat Bubbly to that ball.
Oh.
The net's temporarily open, but Trash is able to stop it.
That was a great bump coming out from, I think it was Fishy, to open up that net, but it wasn't quite enough. Fuego up on this ball, but Trash there to receive it. And Fishy gets a controlled touch to the corner to Ambrosia, who hits it downfield to Fuego. There's not really anybody in net, but Vogs is back and able to clear that one out.
As Trash is looking to put this one upfield, looking for the bump, not making contact. Fuego no boost, trying to stay on this ball and not give any freebies. Vogs is going to take it past him, over 1, over 2. The double tap just across the net. Trash and Ambrosia are going to whiff there as a back pass almost. It's taken back slow by Bubbly, who looks to be waiting for that boost, but doesn't get it.
Vogs with 2 50s on the ball, still bringing it forward, and Trash with the beat. Fishy's left last, and this is where he usually performs the best, but he really shows out there getting 50s on 2 players and really slowing down that attack from the Flyers. Vogs with a pass looking for Bubbly Reaper, but it's not quite on net. And Ambrosia's taking this ball up the sidewall, looking for maybe a solo play. Vogs barely misses that, and then Ambrosia also barely missed the double.
Bubbly looking for a solo play of his own is getting shut down from behind. And as I say that, he gets a demo from behind to give the offense back to the Flyers. Boggs looks for the solo play, playing it slow, flip reset, not great. Ambrosia locks him down, but it goes right to Bubbly, who has a man middle, but he's not fast enough. Vogs with a shot and a
Oh
pinch
my.
off of Trash and Ambrosia to save it out, but it goes right back into Vogs, and he's able to put that in the back of the net.
The last 2 games here with the equalizer in the last minute, and we'll see if there's another very short goal to happen, or if we're going to see overtime for the first time in the series.
30 seconds
Fishy up
left.
for the ball, looking for a solo play, doesn't quite get anything. Trash, popped ball, the defense is awkward, but unfortunately they weren't able to find the back of the net there.
Vogs not getting the power he wanted on that shot. Was probably scoreable. He's going to put it up to the backboard for Bubbly Reaper, who's going to sail over the top of the ball. Luckily, Trash is back. Fishy is looking for the demo on a last player as Ambrosia tries to push it middle. Bubbly's going to clear it out to the middle where Fishy is there and puts it backboard. This is an awkward ball for Trash. He's able to get it. Ambrosia's there, puts it back above. Fuego and Fishy are both there, and it is saved by Vogs in the top corner.
Almost a 0-second goal, just like last game. But unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, going to overtime. Very, very close.
Big
We
clear.
got a ball cleared out, Trash ready to collect it. He gets a little pinch off of, but Fishy's up and he looks for a shot, a little slow. Bubbly, barely missing it, and there we go. Wow, that was
slow bouncer from Fishy, and Bubbly with low boost falls off the crossbar and doesn't have enough boost to recover. Fuego gets the demo on the third man, leaving. That's why that goal was open. You know, there was no third man to help Bubbly after his mistake, and Fuego was there to clean it up.
Yeah, Atlas barely by the I don't know what I'm trying to say, but Atlas barely getting a game off and not quite getting swept here. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going, and maybe we'll see a game 5 here.
Yeah, as a viewer and an enjoyer of Rocket League, we are hoping for the game 5. We want all the pressure on these players to see who's really got it, you know?
We want a game 5 OT, 7 minutes in OT with 0 goals scored. Sounds like a dream. No.
That one would be a little tiring as a caster, but we could make it happen.
Yeah, and it'd be much more tiring as a player. Very, very mentally exhausting to keep that much attention into the game for so long. And that overtime, I wasn't quite sure how long it took, but it was a very short one. So far we haven't really had extremely mentally exhausting games, besides maybe the first one, which was 10 goals, which usually adds a little bit more exhaustion. But it's still, as game 1, there's plenty of time to recuperate and regain and get back into it.
Yeah, here we are looking to get into game number 4 as the Flyers are leading 2-1 to the Atlas. Ambrosia versus Vogs on the kickoff. Let's see who will come out on top.
Nice little pass to Fishy. He has full boost in a field, but he doesn't quite get the control he's looking for. Bubbly with a nice flick over Fuego, but Ambrosia's ready to receive. Bubbly gets a demo and then a bump on one, but it's not quite enough to find a goal for the team.
Yeah, Fishy's going to play this one down. Ambrosia's going to pick it up off Bubbly Reaper as Vogs puts it back middle. Trash is going to get a 50 and demo Fuego, but it's not looking
Ambrosia
like much
with
is coming out of it.
speed. Ambrosia with so much speed, being able to cut that one off before any of the Flyers can get to it. Bubbly very narrowly missing his own net with that save, and then getting a crazy save off of the crossbar again. We have 2 up, and not quite enough for the Atlas to find a goal. But very much a lot of pressure coming out from the Atlas here. But still, Flyers are able to hold on.
Trash using all his boost to get up to that one. Off to Vogs, who puts it far post. Ambrosia can't make contact, and Vogs is going to start out game number 4 with a goal to put Flyers up by 1. 4 minutes left.
All right, as we come into the second kickoff of the game, we got Fishy versus Bubbly. A nice little 50 in the middle. Fuego with some control on the ball, gets it past 2, and it looks like it's an open net for Ambrosia, but he barely misses the catch.
Wow.
Not quite finding the goal off of that one, and maybe a counterattack here from the Flyers, but Fishy doing what he does best and gets rid of that attack as soon as possible.
Yeah, Ambrosia with the absolute blunder there. Did not get the catch, caught Fuego off guard. He wasn't able to get to it, expecting Ambrosia to just put it in, but he's going to put it back middle to Fuego, who rips the shot that's not quite on target as Fishy takes to the sky. He's going to take control to the corner. He's going to get bumped off the ball, and Trash is going to clear it away. Vogs is on it.
Vogs with a
pass back
pass.
to Trash, but he doesn't make contact.
Fuego with a nice little pop, and Fishy's there to collect, but Vogs is there to block the backboard bounce. And almost a crazy redirect by Fuego again.
Oh.
And Fishy finds the back of the net after deflecting it off of one of the defenders. If Fuego
Fishy
scored that, that would have been the second crazy redirect we've seen from him this series, but not quite this time.
Yeah, I think that ball ricocheted off Bubbly's car, sends an absolute skimmer to his bottom corner, almost got the save, but this ball, as Ambrosia looks to make something happen here, pops it off the ceiling, and the Atlas are going the wrong way here. All 2 of the players hitting it to their back corner. Now they're right on track.
Although they failed to get it downfield, they still maintained a lot of control, and they're still maintaining the control yet as we speak. Forcing a double commit out by the Flyers, but they're still able to get it cleared. Ambrosia with a nice pop and a Rule 1 broken by I think Bubbly Reaper.
Wow. Chat, you guys are going to have to rip them up for that. Everybody knows you got to respect the Rule 1. Boggs,
I feel like Bubbly as a
skimmer.
bump-heavy player would be the type of player to kind of hold himself into a Rule 1, but not quite.
As we say that, the man Bubbly takes it down the field, stopped by Fishy. He's going to use his extra jump to get down below that ball, try to get underneath it faster. Bubbly with the double tap, and the shot from Fuego saved by Vogs. He's going to stay on it and try to 50 Fishy here. Pops up in Fishy's favor. Fuego to the ceiling. Not quite what he wanted. Bubbly with the 1v1 over Ambrosia. He's going to stay on the ball. Fishy gets the clear.
Well, like brother, I've been seeing that Fishy is getting very active in the demo space this game, and almost opening up some goals for his team, but it hasn't quite come to fruition yet. Vogs with the pass out, and nobody there to take the shot, even though there was an opportunity. Trash playing reserve third, able to get a beat over Fishy, and it's over 2, and almost a bump from Bubbly Reaper giving them the goal, but not quite. Ambrosia was able to figure out how to still defend that one.
Yeah, here we got a bump chance on the other side of the field, but Vogs makes a miracle happen on the goal line. Trash up for that ball, does not get contact. Vogs is going to send it across the middle. Bubbly pushed up maybe a little too far, runs out of boost, and just barely gets a touch on that ball to pop it up. Fishy looks for a solo attack, stopped by Vogs.
Ambrosia coming up very far as third man there, but still able to get the play. And he gets a nice little clear back. Oh, is it an own goal? Not quite. Fishy up and ran out of boost, but there's nobody there to capitalize. And another shot coming on net, but they can't seem, those Flyers can't seem to find out how to put it into the back of the net. A nice little 50 on defense by Bubbly.
And he's going to get a clear out. Fishy. He's going to pop it up. No one is there.
And we're into overtime.
OT in game 4.
Vogs with the beat on kickoff.
Trash takes it up to Bubbly, who's going to look for Vogs middle. He's not going to get it. The ball's going to pinch off to the wall where Fuego looks to take control. The double touch off the sidewall, but goes out to Trash, who puts it wide.
Fishy moving this ball down the field, but Vogs able to be there to cut it off. Ambrosia with a nice little clear, but Trash is up, looking for a double off the ceiling. Barely gets it past one defender, looking for a bump on the second. And a 50 from Bubbly Reaper. Nice little pop mid, but nobody's up for it. except for Fuego, who's able to clear it a little bit. Fishy here trying to take some control, buy some time for his team to get back. And the Ambrosia with the little touch. Fishy, 0 boost here, really awkward. Still gets a beat and still looking for a 50. He's had 0 boost here for maybe 10 seconds. A nice little pop to Ambrosia, almost a double. And Flyers are finding themselves very awkward here in this overtime, it seems.
Be a chance as Bubbly puts it off the crossbar. They had a little 2v1 there for a little bit, and it almost resulted in a goal. But Trash showing his speed, but also putting too much speed on that ball as it goes flying across the net with Ambrosia up. Flip reset, bump from Fuego. Trash makes the save, and Trash with a 50 over Fishy to just really great job on defense there from Trash.
Bubbly with a quick cutoff, looking for a double tap. It goes mid. Fishy with an insane goal line save. Ambrosia here moving it out with a musty flick. Unfortunately, he loses a little bit of control, and Boggs is able to make the... And that's the series.
Wow.
Trash waiting on the wall with the crazy pinch here, coming straight to him. Actually, it was just a beat. And what an absolute beamer on the net, 128 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, absolute rocket from Trash. Just finding that ball as soon as it meets with the wall. Just pinches off the wall and his car, just absolutely slams it into the net. And that will make the Flyers take it in 3.
Yeah, so now Flyers out here securing 3rd place from the Atlas. I was definitely hoping to see Atlas maybe keep it a little bit closer. They definitely had a valiant attempt, but it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, that was the battle. 2 very close teams in points, and doesn't look too close after this series, as the Flyers were able to pretty much be in control that entire series. Ended up dropping 1 game, but overall played very solid.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with you in a couple minutes with Brainerd Victory versus St. Paul Senators. We'll see you soon.
I carried you home, taking all the weight off your shoulders. Now it all gone, falling into 1 year older. It's funny how our love began when I was sober. Now I stumble in a room where nobody else cares. Now I'm in 2 minds thinking about you. I'm in 2 minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in 2 minds thinking. Now I'm in 2 minds thinking about you. I'm in 2 minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in 2 minds thinking. We've been knocked down way too many times, and now my tries deja vu round, spinning me into another lost time. Tell me where this road will end before I drive over the edge. Give me 1 break to recover myself, because I can't bear. Now I'm in 2 minds thinking about you. I'm in 2 minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in 2 minds thinking. Now I'm in 2 minds thinking about you. I'm in 2 minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in 2 minds thinking.
Waiting, I'm hoping that you set me free. Can't take the pressure, you hold over me. I'm falling, I'm fading, I'm losing my mind. Can't take the pressure and leave you behind. Waiting, I'm hoping that you set me free. Can't take the pressure, you hold over me. I'm falling, I'm fading, I'm losing my mind. Can't take the pressure and leave you behind.
No more patience when I'm feeling low. On vacation, my mind wants to go. Overthinking when I'm all alone. Out of focus from all the unknown. Can you check for my vitals? Think I need revival.
And welcome back to MCS Premier week number 5. We're going to see the Brainerd victory against the St. Paul Senators. Both teams had a doubleheader this week. This is the second game for both of those teams. And let's see who is going to take it. I'm joined here by Etro. Say hello.
Hello.
And,
oh, sorry.
oh, it's all good. And you can take it.
All right, and both Brainerd Victory and St. Paul Senators are currently tied for 11 and 12. So this is a battle over that 11th spot in the standings. And just a little recap on the earlier matches from today. We had Bemidji Lumberjacks versus Bloomington Maulers, with Wesley playing on the Bloomington Maulers, and they won 3-1. For the second series, we had Duluth Superiors versus Rochester Rhythm, with Duluth Superiors taking it 3-1. And then that last series, we had St. Cloud Flyers versus Mankato Atlas, with the Flyers taking it 3-1 as well. So let's see if that trend keeps on going. Let's see if we'll see a 3-1 match again.
So yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction here, and I'm going to predict that St. Paul is gonna win this one in 4.
4. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna agree with you there because I kind of want to keep the vision of the 3-1s going, and we have AO playing up as a sub for Brainerd Victory, and so I feel like St. Paul Senators, since they've been together a bit longer, and they got Mystic, Midas, and Timmy, I feel like that's a really solid roster, a lot of potential there for solo pop-off plays, and hopefully
Me from this last trade window. Timmy was just sitting there in free agency, and St. Paul ended up parting ways with Pace and picking up Timmy. So
All right,
we can see
and
how they're gonna go.
the game is starting here. All players are in. With an early attack from Kai, blocked off by Midas, and Timmy's there to pop a shot on net, but is blocked away. Midas with another shot on net. Lots of pressure in the first 13 seconds here coming out from the Senators, and they find a goal for it.
Yeah, Mystic and Zebra both thinking that each other are going to hit that ball, and both of them end up whiffing because of it, and Midas is able to just take a great shot and put that one top corner.
Yeah, I definitely know that the St. Paul Senators, at least from my experience, they have a lot of solo potential. Wow, with a quick response coming back from the victory here. But they have a lot of solo play potential. All these players are definitely very capable on the ball. And so I'm excited to see. Maybe we'll get some clips going on in the chat here, or in the stream here.
Yeah, as the Senators are a very demo-heavy and almost defensive play style. So we're going to see that against this victory squad that is quite an offensive powerhouse, but maybe a little bit lacking on the defense, as we're going to see an overcommit and a goal not actually go in for the Senators, as Midas pops it back up as Timmy beats 2 of them. Zebra's stuck in his last position. He's going to get the easy save.
Seeming like all of the victory here are fairly boost starved except for AO. And hopefully they can get some time bot and get some boost going. Midas taking control of the ball with a little pre-flip into an air dribble, but it's blocked away. Mystic ready to collect the ball, also goes for a solo play of his own, fakes it first, Zebra still reads it though. Timmy with a nice little beat, but AO has the clear down to Kai.
Kai is going to look to get this one middle. AO, his middle man, getting bumped by Timmy. Midas is going to put this one middle as well. Mystic there, gets beat by Kai, and Timmy is now alone on defense, able to chip it past one, and it gets blocked, and right back in the orange half. So Midas tries to take it to the backboard. Mystic picks it up. Doesn't have his flip, probably wanted to flip into that ball to bring it downfield, but Timmy there to save the day and put it back middle.
Midas with an aggressive jump as third man, but Mystic's already back, ready to cover. A little bit on the back foot here by the Senators, and a nice demo coming up from Zebra, but Kai barely hits it over, and Midas gets a nice little pop to block Zebra.
Yeah,
with a pass mid, maybe a goal. Another block by 2 of the defenders, both Timmy and Midas getting a save in that encounter.
Nothing new for this roster to just sit on that goal line and get great goal line saves. Timmy's looking to avoid the demo from Kai. He's going to dribble it out, blocked by Zebra, as AO goes flying past that ball, and Mystic gets it, puts it back middle, and nobody was up from the Senators. Timmy a bit awkward here as he looks to put this ball in the clear.
Although he's awkward, he maintained possession well and was able to get it past one, and definitely helped get the ball out of their own half, but quickly again is brought back over to the Senators half. And I'm seeing a lot of that this game, is getting stuck on the Senators half with a couple counterattacks coming back out towards the victory side. But And I say that still real on the Senators half.
Yeah, speaking of the Senators roster, I've been... Oh, jeez, that might have been Cast or Curse without me even saying anything, as I think that was Mystic goes flying past that ball, which should be a pretty routine save. No discredit to Zebra, as he does find the back of the net. But as I was going to say, the St. Paul Senators, I've had the luck to team with all three players before. Season 6 with Midas, Season 7 with Mystic, and I've played a LAN with Timmy. All very solid, good people and good players. So let's see if they can figure it out as a team and make some stuff happen.
Kai with a nice little breakaway, looks for the 50, goes straight out to Zebra. Timmy barely getting the block on the goal line. AO with another shot, slightly wide. Timmy's ready to take control of this ball. Gets a nice little 50, and we have a double commit coming out from the victory, but they still get the contact. Mystic there, and Midas is up, looking for a pass down. Timmy's up, but beat out by Kai. 2 Zebra on the side wall, and that's another goal.
Wow.
Mystic again, barely missing the bounce shot. Those are sometimes extremely difficult to save because you expect it to be a lot faster than the shot actually comes.
Yeah, Mystic hoping that back corner boost would spawn, and that one did not come back, much like my ex-girlfriend. As we are looking to get into this next kickoff, a minute left. Let's see if St. Paul has anything to bring themselves back into this game, as it is already pressure for the victory.
Yeah, just a minute left, and St. Paul Senators really need something to start here in order to even bring this game to overtime. Timmy looking for a bump there, but doesn't really do much for the team. Mystic gets a nice little 50 2 times, but Midas is beat out by Kai. Caught jumping anyways. Gets a nice little bump, which opens up room for Mystic. Mystic looks for Timmy downfield, shot barely wide. Timmy gets a nice little double that Midas is able to recover. But with that, AO tries to clear it out back towards the St. Paul Center side, but it seems like the St. Paul Senators have figured out how to keep the ball on the victory side a little bit longer.
If only they figured that out a little bit earlier in the game, as there's only 10 seconds left and they need 2 goals. They would need one right about now, and it does not look like it is going to happen after that touch from Mystic. AO's gonna fly by this one, and this game is over. Honestly, surprising. I thought that the Senators were gonna take this, but the victory are coming to show out as Midas is looking to own goal, and he can't even do that. Maybe time to make a change. Card change, who knows? Something to get the Senators back on track.
It's looking like both Mystic and Timmy left the match looking for a card change here. I wonder what we'll see. Maybe just a bit of a preset change, or maybe we're going to see a Dominus come out. No idea.
Yeah, maybe. I think the Senators had looked like they were getting boost starved. Those 2 saves that Mystic could have maybe had. He was pretty low on boost, and they were quite tough saves for him to make. So it looks like Victory are just kind of feeling it out. But it is game 1, also known as the feel out game. So
yeah, getting rid of the little jitters and kind of refocusing your mind and seeing if you can figure out a different solution that's going to work a little bit better. I mean, every team plays a little different, and that first game is very important to try to start to understand how that team plays and how you can use what your team excels at to really find an exploit and figure out a way to punish the other team.
yeah, as we're looking ready to get here into game 2, which is arguably one of the most important games in a best of 5. Either brings you back into the series or puts you on your ultimate last foot. So we're gonna need we're gonna want, if I'm the Senators here, I am definitely looking to win this game.
Yeah, it definitely puts a lot of pressure on the Victory's half, forcing them to reverse, or not the Senators, but definitely puts a lot of pressure because you're either forcing a reverse sweep or you're making it a best of 3.
Yeah.
A ball finding its way on the Victory's half. AO taking his time with it, but doesn't quite get the catch it seems like he's looking for, and he hits the ball back out to Mystic. Unfortunately unable to get the double. AO putting it to himself in the corner, and a pop-up with Midas ready to 50 that. And we find the ball kind of open for Timmy here. He doesn't really have much boost, but Midas is up for the redirect and a double commit, but they still get the save. I'd say that's a best double commit you could have right there.
Agreed. As Timmy is going to get a demo on Kai, as AO puts this one mid, so nobody was there for the victory, as they are looking to keep the pressure applied, but Mystic is having none of that as he tanks this ball through.
Yeah, he gets bumped with 0 boost, and then he barely misses the boost because of the bump. Kind of leaves him overcommitted for a while here, but Victory weren't able to quite turn that into a goal opportunity.
Little pinch from Midas and Timmy there to bring the ball upfield.
Found Zebra last back, and he was able to buy a lot of time for his team to get back, so it was a very, very good play by Zebra. A shot opportunity blocked by AO. Midas with the little pop, and Zebra's ready. Hits it down to AO, and barely gets blocked by Timmy, but it isn't quite enough. AO's able to get back to that and find the net.
Yeah, Timmy trying as hard as he can with a pre-jump save, but not much more he can do after. It was a good attempt. Timmy and Mystic look like they just changed decals, both staying in the Fennec after last game. You know, stuff like that is as dumb as it may sound, the placebo effect is real and definitely affects how you think you're playing.
Exactly. You have professional players like Garrett who barely change their camera settings or control sensitivity just about every game, just to kind of like make sure he's like really honed in and not really you know, getting like placebo effect where he thinks that those settings are wrong, you know.
Ooh, double commit. Timmy has a free shot and he's gonna slot that to the left side of the net. Beautiful shot. Exactly how they teach it there, Timmy.
Yeah, unfortunately a double commit coming out from the Victory, so somebody wasn't in line in net ready to block Timmy's shot.
Yeah, now we are getting back into this halfway through the game, tied up. This AO is looking to find Zebra downfield, intercepted. Mystic's gonna pass it back. Team's gonna chip it up and get beat by Kai as Zebra puts it back middle. Is AO there? He is. Looking for another touch, he gets it, but Timmy ends up demoing Kai and freeing up space. Mystic with one demo is looking for another, but he did not get it.
An open net for some reason, yeah. Well, Senator's taking the lead with 2 minutes left in this game. Ooh. Talking about how that second game is very important. Let's see if they can hold this lead or maybe increase it before the Victory can come up with a response.
As Zebra backflipping on that play might have been pushed up a little too far as that ball soars over him. They are going to win on the kickoff, but it's going to get picked up by Mystic, who gets absolutely destroyed to that ball by Kai.
Lots of space from the Victory here, and a pass from the side wall, not quite able to take a shot on net. And looks like Midas looking for the counterattack to Mystic. And Mystic is off the ceiling. Didn't quite get the flip reset, but definitely a valiant attempt. We have Timmy up to try to block off this play, and he gets it around one, makes him awkward for sure, but Kai looking for the redirect, unable to find it. Timmy looking to buy a little bit of time here from his backboard. He gets a nice little 50, but Kai's there ready to cut it off. Midas with a clear down to Timmy, looking for maybe a shot opportunity, but it doesn't quite come out.
And Midas on the wall there, just trying to force AO, ends up getting control, 50s it to Kai, who's gets saved by Timmy. As the ball's gonna fall back towards Timmy, he's gonna get one touch and then blocked by AO. Midas is next up. He's gonna 50 AO and get it past him as Mystic goes up fast. Stays on the ball, and nobody is there.
Almost a shot on net by AO, but Kai's ready just to follow it up there and gets a nice little shot over the head of, who was that there? That was Midas.
Midas, yeah. That ball pretty awkward for Midas. That Kai just pretty much has free range on where he wants to put it. And Midas is sitting there just trying to guess.
I'm noticing that Victory are definitely using each other a lot more than the St. Paul Senators. They're looking for a lot of passes to their teammates to kind of make the defense awkward. Whereas on the Senators sides, it seems like a lot of times it's like they're trying to just clear the ball or carry it out from their own half or like touch it to themselves. They're not really playing off their team as much. So maybe that's something that Senator can change to be a little bit more threatening against this Victory squad.
There was a pass intended for Kai, and Zebra, where was he that he came up and took that ball? But he's going to end up clearing it downfield. Not too much control from both teams. A lot of boomer ball being played. Are we going to see a last-second heroic from Timmy? Not quite. The ball is still up as Kai is looking to drop it, and he does.
And we're into overtime on game 2. This is really anybody's game. There's some boomer ball happening, then there's some control play. I'm definitely noticing that it's not very consistent whether which team are playing which type of style. So
Midas is going to try to put that one middle. That gets intercepted as Timmy collects the ball. Mystic taking control as Midas goes next. Midas is going to try to get a shot that does not quite pierce the defense, and it rolls slowly all the way back to the orange half where Timmy is waiting, trying to bait in one player, goes by 1. Can he get it by 2? He gets the 50.
Midas with a nice controlled touch to himself from the air. It's a nice 50 past AO and a nice 50 on Kai, but fortunately it's in the corner, the safest spot for a defending team.
That one is going to be pinched across field. AO goes quick. Mystic to the backboard. Does Kai have it? He doesn't. A demo comes out. Kai falls from the top of the backboard and gets the save. A crazy pinch from Timmy. Brings the ball back middle. The offense is still here. Timmy off the backboard. As AO tries to clear it, Mystic turns, keeps it in. Midas on the ball. Back to Timmy, to Midas. The shot is there, saved by Kai again. Kai having some great saves in this overtime. Timmy with the double touch, just high.
Yeah, the Senators finding a lot of pressure here in this overtime, looking for demos, looking for absolutely anything they can to open up the field for their team to get a goal here. Timmy with a nice little pop, trying to look for a follow-up, maybe a pass mid, but it doesn't come out.
Yeah, that one looked a little weird with flip resets coming out. Intentional or not.
Yes. Timmy caught a little far forward. AO ready for the redirect, but Midas is also ready to block it from the net. Timmy bringing the ball downfield, unfortunately gets a little misstep on the wall.
Open.
But the net still finds to be open. I wonder what happened to the Victory's defense here.
Yeah, that looks like a
Zebra
mistake
just
from
turned
Timmy.
off. It seemed like Zebra just turned off for a boost there when he probably could have stayed and blocked the ball.
Yeah, Timmy almost... That was kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what he did there on the wall, but it faked out AO, which I believe Zebra probably thought AO was going to have that ball, but the weird currents that happened there just ended up making him turn off, and the ball was just free for Mystic, who puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like Timmy was either going for a flip or some sort of wave dash, and he just kind of spun himself out on the wall. Definitely a little bit confusing to read as a defender.
Yeah.
But Senators get that very much needed second game win, so now we're tied 1-1 in the series, and both teams looking to try to put it to match point.
Yeah, it's probably a big sigh of relief from the Senators as they're able to take that one in a 2-minute OT, not to go down by 2, and bring the series tied at even.
Yeah, and if we look at the pressure here, we have the Senators coming out with 11 shots, whereas Victory only have 7 shots. So the Senators definitely getting a little bit more pressure on the game, which wasn't the case the first game. I don't believe. I believe that the Victory had more of the pressure the first game, at least at the beginning of it. Towards the end, the Senators started figuring them out.
Yeah, here we are gonna jump into game number 3. One of these teams is going to go up to match point at the end of this game. Who will it be is the question.
Yeah. Hopefully the Senators, according to our predictions, but you never know.
True.
Midas with a nice little block, looking for the double, and unfortunately can't get it. Kai looking for the redirect, but runs out of boost. Timmy with the double save on the goal line. probably with 0 boost. I didn't quite know, but definitely a great play by him to keep the ball out of his net. Zebra's
Yeah, that
a
was-
little awkward on front post, still makes the save. Mystic up looking for Timmy middle, and is popped above the backboard. Mystic barely misses the demo there.
Missed scoring opportunity from AO as he flies past his own air dribble. The net, I'm pretty sure, was open, but they'll have to get it again the next chance they get. Mystic is really hunting for demos this game, as you can just see every time out of the corner of your eye him just chasing after one of the players from the victory. I say
definitely.
that, he gets a double tap to advance the ball.
Timmy
up,
getting a
but
nice
Zebra
demo
takes
too.
it.
Yeah, at some point during last game, I think it was really the overtime, is when Senators kind of turned their demo mode on, and they've been looking for a lot more and getting a lot more demos, and I think it's really worked in their favor. Mystic lobbing a shot,
Wow.
goes crossbar down and finds its way into the net. It's a very, very hard shot to read as a defender, because you think that's going over, and you're like, oh, I can just wait and maybe take some time with it. And Kai unfortunately finds himself jumping just a little far.
Yeah. It looks like Mystic had the floater there to just barely get it over Kai. And looking at the cams there, it looks like Kai and Mystic are having the time of their lives going at each other when a goal gets scored. It's quite entertaining to watch.
Yes, Kai with a little fake jump, but it gets demoed by Midas. The demos are really coming out. AO with a pop, but his teammate was just demoed. He's not there to follow it up.
Kai.
Mystic, though, with a touch out and goes straight back to the victory side.
Yeah, that was an interesting play from the Senators. It looked like 2 players were up, but one called it off as he matrixed the ball to his teammate, almost resulting in an own goal. Kai is going to bring this one to the wall, and Midas is going to stop it. Midas up again with a shot. It's a slow one, saved by Zebra. It's Timmy. Goes for it, puts it middle, but he gets bumped off and cannot follow.
AO kind of dispossessing that with that touch right there and going straight to Timmy. Timmy looking for the flip reset, doesn't get it, but he still figures out how to get around the defender and get it in the net. Let's look at this again. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. He
Timmy-
fakes the flip reset and gets barely the tap over Zebra.
Little fun fact about Timmy, last season he was drafted into Challenger and ended up subbing up, I think, around half the season for his premier team, which almost made it to land. They've got to 2 qualifying matches, but as I say that, Kai is going to steal the show for himself, and as he absolutely slams this ball with every power of that Fennec to the top bins of that net.
Yeah, Zebra with a really nice pass, finding Kai, who's ready to receive it, and a really quick response here from the victory side, looking to maybe tie this up again. Timmy going up, gets one flip reset, barely missed by Mystic, not quite finding a goal off of that. Zebra looking for the demos, almost gets 2 there, but Timmy's up again, maybe looking for a pass to Midas, unfortunately cut off by AO.
Timmy and Mystic both looking for touches there to put that one on net, neither of them finding it, but they ended up not getting countered as Timmy pops this one. And Timmy has been going to the air a lot this game. I wonder if that's something that the team talked about over the last break. And Mystic is just going to find the back of the net. Not too sure what happened there on defense or why he was able to do that. He's looks like to get beat over 1 to himself and just beats all the players from the victory.
It almost looked like Kai had that save, because you heard he got the contact with the ball, but it wasn't quite on the right side of the ball to get it out the net. Midas up here with a quick cheat and able to find the ball after. Timmy with a pass back mid. AO gets the cutoff before Mystic can find a shot. AO and Mystic 50 on the side. Mystic, sorry. Timmy with the 50 on the sidewall. Midas looking for control on the ball and unfortunately finds himself awkward. Timmy comes in with a crazy save off the crossbar.
Yeah, it was a crazy save coming from the Senators as they're looking to get a 4th goal. Great bump from AO, taking Timmy off the ball as it flies out middle to Zebra. Mystic is
Zebra
last.
with a nice pass off the ceiling to Kai, but unfortunately Kai can't get a clear shot from it. AO with a nice touch towards the Senators net. Kai gets caught a little forward, but the bumps from AO is really bought him time to still control this ball.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be a pretty good series as Timmy is able to do it again. Who in their right
Yeah.
mind drafted this guy Challenger last season? Look at him go.
Yeah, he's absolutely dominating for his team here with 3 saves and 2 goals.
Timmy did not get picked up in Premier this season too from draft night, but he was able to find a roster, a place to call home, if you will, during the trade window. And at the looks of it,
Musty
it's looking
almost
good.
finds his way. Yeah, before that last goal there, it seemed like both teams were finding themselves very awkward. Zebra finds a quick response here, maybe trying to tie it up with the last 35 seconds. It is currently 2-4. Mystic with a little bit of a little bit of a misplay, accidentally passing it to Zebra, and Zebra finds the open net.
Yeah, it looked like Timmy almost got that one. Super close. Kickoff goes in Senator's favor. Zebra with not a favorable touch. Kai probably not expecting it, caught him off guard, and Timmy able to find the net again. That is a hat trick for Timmy. He has 816 points this game. He is on a tear.
That's an absolute tear. Both teams, it seems like the pressure of this game is getting to them a little bit, but now with such a solid lead from the Senators, I can't imagine that victory can really bring this one back. With the shot almost going in, maybe Castor.
Wow.
Oh my. AO finding backward again, but
that was a close
Midas
one.
Yes, it was close indeed. Another flick, but Midas is ready for that one as well. Mystic up and trying to find Timmy, but Zebra's there to cut it off, but Timmy's still ready for the ball. And an easy save for Midas there. With 0 seconds left on the clock, this game is going towards the Senators. Almost a consolation goal for the victory, but not quite.
AO not able to put that one away. Granted, it didn't matter. It would have just been for the stat padding as he just slams the crossbar. But the Senators are going to go up 2-1, and this is looking pretty good for our predictions. They won this game pretty convincingly. Seemed like they played very solid. Victory getting caught off guard and out of position a little bit, and the demos, I think, are probably the main cause of that.
Yes, I agree with that. I was saying at the end of that second game, or no, yeah, end of the second game there, the Senators were really turned on their demos, and it's kind of taken a toll on the victory. They are really finding themselves. There's definitely like a good minute there where I noticed like Victory was really unable to get out of their own half, finding themselves very awkward in the ball, kind of just like flinging back and forth from sidewall to sidewall on their half. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think that Victory can do differently to maybe change the tide of this series?
Like I said earlier, the Victory seemed to be more offense focused than their defense. So I think their key to win this game is to be able to be fast on defense to where they're not going to get demoed from the Senators, but just efficiency. I think if they're able to find each other on passes, getting out of defense, that could maybe be their key to success this game.
For sure. And from what I'm noticing, I think also just getting a little bit more readable touches for your teammates, because I feel like there's some times where the touches are just going a little bit crazy and not quite easily readable by their own team. But let's see if they can flip that around here as game 4 starts. Match point for the Senators.
Yeah, this is going to be a must-win game, obviously, for the Victory. If they want a chance at victory, they will need to win it.
Yeah, and also they're battling for the 11th spot here in the standings, so I feel like if either team loses this, it kind of puts them in a really tough spot for the rest of the season here to try to make a comeback. They either need a really good major performance or a miracle to happen to find themselves in a spot in the play-ins.
Yeah. This is a must-win for both teams here. If they lose this, it is not looking good for the rest of their season. So, the nerves are probably on.
Yeah, the first minute in the game, and Victory is finding a lot of pressure. And a demo coming out from AO on Midas, and it's really opening up a little bit of space. They're definitely keeping a lot of the pressure here. Mystic with some control, but he has no boost, so he's looking for the low 50. Almost sneaks his way into the net, but unfortunately Midas was there and ready to control the ball away. Another 50 almost finding its way to the net, and still Mystic with a great block there.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely there for the victory. Let's see if they're going to be able to convert on a goal, as 2 go up for that, and that's not great for their offense. Ao drops it back down to Kai, who decides not to shoot it, put it back into the corner, giving the opportunity for the Senators to break out, but the ball immediately is right back in the orange corner.
Yeah, for this entire 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure we were only on the orange half here. There may have been something at the start that found its way to the blue half that I missed, but yeah, the victory really coming out swinging in this one, but still unable to convert. Ao with some control on the ball, gets a pop over Timmy, and Zebra's ready for the follow-up, tries to snipe it top left, but unfortunately he's a little off and Midas gets the save. Midas a touch to himself off the sidewall, clears it downfield, and I think this is the answer that Senators were looking for. They're finally getting it out of their half, but with a nice little demo coming out from Zebra, they're able to
Oh, they cannot buy a goal. That one you gotta be scoring if you are the victory. 2 chances there, neither of them finding the back of the net, as this one is on target. Midas has to make a low boost save, and Kai is there. Felt like that one was coming for a long time.
Yeah, after almost 3 whole minutes of just pressure on the orange half, a little team bump might have helped contribute to letting Victory finally score their first.
Yeah, if I'm the victory, I am relieved to finally have a goal go in after all they've been through this game. But this is where they're going to need to lock it down and not get scored on, see if they can hang on to this lead, as the offense looks like it's just going to keep on rolling.
Yeah. Timmy looking for a controlled clear out here. Beats it over one. Ao accidentally own goals it, and Timmy finds a very, very quick response to that last goal.
Yeah.
A little bit of a misplay here by Ao, hopefully looking for the block, but unfortunately the ball was bouncing off the crossbar. But it's very hard to read that.
Very tough spot for Ao. He only had 13 boost. For people who do not know, it only takes 12 boost to get up to crossbar height, so he could only just about get to the crossbar and not really do too much about that save. He would have had to known that the ball wasn't in and played the crossbar down, which is extremely tough to read in the moment.
For sure. Ao looking for a beat over Mystic here, but Mystic gets the 50. Kai pass out to Ao, gets blocked off a little bit by Midas. The ball's finding its way onto the blue half a bit now, which is a very good sign for the Senators. Wow. And with a Midas with an absolute rocket of a shot to top left corner, it was, I think Timmy was there and he still was unable to quite get there because of the bump from Zebra maybe.
Yeah, that was a absolute snipe from Midas. Don't see that too often from him, as he tends to be more on defense. But that was a great shot, and I think if I am the Senators, I'm going to want him up more. But Kai is doing what he does best and scoring goals.
Yes. Again, the victory finding a very, very quick response to the lead that Senators put on. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm the victory there, that is the best possible response. Super quick, locked in, back into the game. But
it goes back the other way.
If I am the Senators, it's an even better comeback with Mystic getting the demo and then the fake underneath Kai. What a great play from Mystic.
Yeah, it seems like Victory is trying to look for a little bit more demos after Senators really turned up their demo game the other game. And I don't know if it's quite fully working out for them, I think. Because obviously, you know, it being 2-3 and they're still behind, they really have to make something happen here in the last minute.
Yeah, it looks like the Victory are experimenting to do whatever they can to give themselves a goal. Here might be an opportunity. The Victory I believe this is only their second week together now as a new team, where they used to consist of Saith, Stewie, and Kai, whereas Saith and Kai have moved on to different options. This is the new Brainerd Victory, and in my opinion, they're looking better.
Yeah, they are looking very strong, but Victory's definitely putting up a great fight.
Yeah, here we have the last 10 seconds of the game. Victory need a score. Can they? AO's going to get a great clear, but Midas is waiting. He's going to dish it off to Mystic, who's going to fake it. Kai's there. Doesn't have much boost. Mystic looks to beat Zebra to this ball as he gets a dunk on AO, and that will be the series as the Senators take it in 3-1, as we predicted.
Yeah, the 4th series this week to have a 3-1. All 4 games were 3-1 going to the team that wins. So that was very, very crazy series event. That last game, series of events, that last game for sure was definitely a roller coaster, with Victory finding a lot of pressure for the first 3 minutes. And then in the last 2 minutes, the Senators were able to turn it around and find a lot of quick responses and a lot more pressure, which the Victory ultimately could not handle.
Yeah, that was a great series. Pretty close games the entire way through. Lots of demos, fun goals. Pretty much all you can ask for in a Rocket League series. Just that will be the last series of the night, however. As Etro said before, this is all 3-1s tonight. Who would have expected that? The odds are probably not in the favor for it, but it happened anyways.
And just to recap, we had the Bloomington Maulers win the first series. We had Duluth Superiors win the second series. We had the St. Cloud Flyers win the third series. And then we just watched the Senators win the 4th series. And I think that wraps it up for this week's of Premier's games. And we will see everybody back here next Thursday for week 6 of Rising Star.